that crack hard. Aborigines, the black big lips, black bars as I leave Earth. Back to the stars, right to job lives with jewelers and sacks, knives. If I rule the world, yo, vision, setting up intuition, and you don't have nothing if you intuition. I work with light just to give birth to life. I want in all forms in the perfect night. God picks up black rods as soon as I learn. Back to and the room just like the built like iron computer that's dark and deep out making your heart shatter. I sleepwalk, talking with smart chatter, so I don't need you. Ride or die with me, I got this advice from the other side. With me, gang, beam up life after death. God knows on the eyes, cause the light's a breath. My price is flesh. The final copy looks like Anunnaki. Like God, got big lips and black bra. In the project, just whip. That black hard, I'm just saying. My skills whipping that crack hard. Look at that bright James. The black guard got big lips and black bars. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. Right to job lives with jewelers and girls. Just ask nods if I the world. Yo, the black guard got big lips and black broads in the project. Riches with black car. My rhymes the same skills as with crack hard. LeBron James, that nigga. It's a black heart, and you wonder why we spit lead. Just the whole raps, niggas got big heads like old Mac. The way that I'm writing is more than fake. The age of enlightenment, read and Spain. Now that I pray to a black vagina. Even the Pope prayed to the black Madonna. And the sun, as bright as I be, greatest of all time, like Muhammad Ali. And when I die, baptized in the fire, only flash like skies. I job, my lives, losing girls. Just sacks and I blew the rubies and got big black bra in my check. It's just with that black I'm just saying. Skills is crack hard. LeBron James, the black guard got lips and black. As soon as I leave, it's back to the stars. Listen, sacks not the world. The infinite stars. Charge the instrument, play the strength of your heart. Into the dark, the dragon spark the fathom from a higher consciousness. I talk with atoms, I live in land, and I live in the stars. Original man, I am image of God, home and time, amen. I cut diamonds so as long as nothing can stop shining. Only be in the bins to drive me crazy. Live on CNN, hearing cries, Haiti. You know the people they're trying to hide them baby guards, surrounded in like attracts. Black guard, surrounded in light, attract stars. Black guard, surrounded in light, attract stars. I told you, all of my critics, I told
Peace. Make sure everything is connected. Give me a sec, people. Shout out to all the Aboriginal North and South Central Islands. Everybody that's in the chat room. You're now rocking with Brother A1, aka Tasha, or Hanu Kiel. Peace to God. Let me just give me a school. Let me make sure things is cut. Just give me one, y'all, if y'all can hear me. Hello, choppy, still choppy. Peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses, peace to all Aborigines, North, South, Central, and the conjoining islands. Shout out to all the indigenous people. Shout out to all the Native Americans. Shout out to all the Black Indians. Shout out to all the African Americans. Shout out to all the descendants of slaves and the foundational Black Americans. Shout out to African Americans, those blacks, etc. But the topic for discussion is that ain't gonna go too long. Same one of the brothers out there going, I got to cook out, go to a cookout on the field. It's top on my mind. I was actually doing just some random shit, just like a pop up. Hey, it's me again. Let's get into this information right here, type shit. Um, like I'm just get to a proper understanding, and I'm gonna open the pen for a little bit. This ain't gonna be no educational, but it's gonna be educational to the listener. But as far as me being an educator, I'm not educating nobody. I want people to please educate me because I don't know what the fuck is going on. I am confused. I'm confused at least from other people, and I'm not confused from my end because I'm confident. I'm always solid with what my beliefs are or what the infinite me see. But that's just other people because what's going on is right. The process of people observing that they are Aborigines or are Indians, one of the many different tribes, nations. No need to go through the tribes. That's why we use the term Aborigine once again. But just for the people that be speaking, right? Because I be hearing different narratives of what people may think has happened in this continent and what led to the situation that we are in right now, and how we are always how we have been on a losing end. Some of us, because you got some niggas out here making millions a year, but that comes with shit. But you got people out here happy with their financial status, right, or the social status, right. But just on the topic of like so-called Negroes, colors, African Americans, in the whole 19th century, all they have shown you was abusive or things that was detrimental to you, was it consciously or subconsciously, all negative images, hangings, lynchings, you know, a lot of just disrespectful, things. I mean, images for the most part, right? And they have us sit there and like embrace it, kind of like, because I'm sitting back watching right now. This Juneteenth thing, already seen it already. It was going to be, be in a situation with this Juneteenth thing, and I see how these Negroes is in it. How like they even with you, if you go back and let's say some troops came and just said niggas all free. So where was the slaves at? Was there gunfire for these slaves or the troops? This war like nigga, the slave masters just ran away. Like what happened? What happened? Like how? Like this things according to what we took, it's more sophisticated than just some niggas up with like, yeah, y'all free, and then niggas like, oh shit, we free, and niggas just looking high fiving each other like, I'm gonna do this. Fuck out here, man. You know what I'm saying? And the sad part is right from some of these Aborigines. some of the stories that they tell, like that shit be like amazing. Like it's a Star Wars story for the most part. Not unless we know that African Americans and all of these subgroups of these people, you know what I'm saying? We know that they are in total confusion. But for us being Aborigines or being Black Indians or whatever tribe that you in, because this shit right here have just this shit is segmented. It's in so many segments, and if you're not part of this one particular segment, then guess what happens? A nigga, and like either no, we don't believe in what this individual say or whatever. We don't believe in that. We just believe in this one narrative right here, and that's it. And not knowing from someone who have done the research entirely, right? No, it's way more than what they're presenting to you. It's like somebody coming to you, like offering you for land, like your land. Let's say you got some land, and somebody coming to you offering you 300,000, right? Right. But then the next day, randomly, you get somebody can offer you 3,000, 3 million. Somebody off one day, somebody offer you 300,000. The next day, might offer you 10 times more than that, 3 million. You're like, wait a minute, well, what's going on? And you find out that your land got resources and all this infinite, finite material that can be used to uplift humanity or technology, like however you want it, right? So this is the injustice that's being done to a lot of the so-called Aborigines, or I don't like it. I'm being very sarcastic, y'all. So I hope you guys know, like when I'm saying Black Indians and all this other stuff and indigenous. But I'm not being sarcastic and be disrespectful, because I know that there's people who do, who do relate to being one of these many terms that has been provided to you by any of these so-called European institutions. Because the word Aborigine, Atanchan, all of this stuff, but we have to understand this too, right? Certain terms, or not even certain terms, a lot of terms, even in the English vocabulary, like words like Connecticut, and even for a word like Iowa. Iowa get used so much to where no one ever looked at it and said that this has to be a word from the indigenous people or the Aborigine people of the land. Just like Connecticut, just like a lot of these other terms that's thrown out there that, when you say it in the English, when you say it in the European um um term, it sounds like it's just a common word, but in reality, it's a word has that has a lot of historical and cultural aspects to it. But it's just it might be how do I say it, like it's not being related, or it's not being presented to the people in the proper way. So as I'm going on with what I'm saying is, I'm saying that I've seen interviews from so-called Aborigines or so-called people who's in this community, and I just sit back and I just be like everybody got their point of view, which everybody have a right to have their point of view. There's no leaders, there's no people who are in charge of what your curriculum or what your talking points are. But at some point in time, we have to kind of even get on call with this. And this ain't no FBA, none of that type of shit. I'm talking about amongst us in the Aboriginal community. So when you do go on these certain platforms, you don't get laughed off and joked off like some type of clowning type shit. Or even just presenting this to anyone in history, or present it to anyone, trying to present your claim, it can turn out to be very confusing. So what I like to do is I like to open panel for not want to be on here, right? Put the link in the chat, and if anyone would like to come on and give me their narrative, like, give me a narrative and an understanding to what you think happened in the Americas and what does it has to regarding the so-called people who refer to themselves as African American, Indians. And when I say Indians, Indians is a broad term meaning from Connecticut, or we can go even further, Maine, all the way to Canada. There's tribes, but if you want to start with the tribes that's in fucking Massachusetts, the Nasogatti, all the way through New York, the Shinnecock, all the way through New Jersey, the Lenape, all the way through Delaware. Delaware is really of Maryland, which so you can get into the Pomona Mountains, all the way through all the fucking Florida, the way inward into Texas and up through the Mississippi, through the Midwest. What we call that? We call that Northwest. Call that Northwest. This is where most of the so-called culture of tribes are surrounding, with the exception that you got brothers and sisters who do chime in from the time that are from California and from very far in the West. For the majority of us are located within that region right there. So as far as people who've been studying this, or people who feel like they are equipped to present the story or present their story or present any story that can make a person understand how is an African American, a so-called American Indian, and how are they related to any of these tribes? Is it because the Africans mix with Native Americans? Is it because of that? In all cases, that will be the only reason people who don't understand. It's either okay, Africans mixed with Native Americans, or they was all fucking black people here. And you got to start questioning factor. Where did these white people come from, and what part did they really play? You understand what I'm saying? And even get back into the where Mongoloids in the South like that, because you got Mexicans coming from Texas that's moving into the Carolinas, Alabama, Tennessee, etc. But prior to that, the people who were still in them lands, who were still classified, or who still had the term or the native history or the history of what their family had passed down to them, will be coming out of them lands, will be coming out of some Virginia, Maryland, Carolinas, South Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, you go over Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, all the way up, and even in some cases down in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even for us here in America, what is the so-called what what is the narrative to be said when asked about what is the explanation for so-called African Americans claiming that they Native Americans? Because my narrative is totally different from some of this other stuff that I hear. And when I say some of the stuff that's being said, like me, I don't believe it was no Africans that ever came here. Because the fucked up part about it is the same people that you're asking are the Indians are classified as African Americans. So now you have to kind of start factoring into that. Okay, all right. So you are okay, all right. So prior to us having this conversation, you do understand that your grandmother may be, let's say, maybe Seneca, maybe Powhatan, or maybe one of these different terms, you know what I'm saying, in which people, family would tell them, right? You're still classifying yourself as an African American. Why? Oh, because the slaves mixed with the Indians, and oh, this is what happened. Oh, this is what happened. So it still comes back to some people who are of a melanated or copper color hue being brought across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas to be put on these large working um warehouses or plantations, you know what I'm saying, and being used to manufacture something. You know what I'm saying? So this is the history that we're being told. And understand, like, me personally, I don't believe that the black people who were slaves here had white mothers. Had white mothers. Straight the fuck up. Had white mothers. And this is a story that it's pretty much alluding to, because it's not saying, it's telling you that you have so-called Negro men mating with Slavic women, but they're still saying that a percentage of these children have an indigenous background. But then now the people over there, you would think Africa, but it all gets back down into the images that we have seen. We have seen we have seen Aborigines with Africans in there numerous times. So now that would give us the perception that it was already Negroes here in the land of the Americas, whether it was from Canada all the way through Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, what else? California, and now when you go down, even when you go down to the Iberian Peninsula, all that shit was inhabited by Negroes. All of it, all of it. The whole Iberian Peninsula was inhabited by Negroes. All of it, all down into South America, into Brazil, into Guatemala, and the other countries that go further west or go further. So no, I'm sorry, go further north, because remember, north is south, south is north. So the further south you think you going, actually further north. Actually, like if you're going north to get to Argentina, most people would equate that with being going south. But however you go, it was Negroes who inhabited all them lands. These wasn't no Africans that came here. There wasn't no African slaves that came here. A lot of the history and stories that people fall for is really, it's like, it's really a smack in the face to who your people really were. To who your people really were. So look, this is what I'm gonna do, right? I don't know, actually, let me put this in the. So I would love to hear people what they believe happened in America. I'm gonna put the link in, and we can just discussion. I got about another hour rock with this. They go through. All right, that's the link right there. If anybody hit the link, give me your understanding. Think, believe the African slaves that came here. Do you believe that Africans were the native? So give me of what the native like here that already relate me this. Oh, there's many different complexions and all that. We keep it real. We have to keep it real. I'm lightened. We have to keep real. What are the complexions? What do people look like? What is their phenotype? Was it scamming? What was the people like that was already here? You believe after boy? That's what I want to know. I see a lot of Pan African and not even Pan African man. Just people who really want questions. I really want answers. You some people said I'm happy. Hold on a second, people. Wait. Give me a second. Let me. That was good. All right. Let me see something. I'm sorry about that, people. I thought my everything. Let me see it. Yeah. My check, my ear. See. All right, we should be good now. Hopefully, let me see. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Let's give me a one if I am being heard. Give me a two if I'm not being heard. Mic check, mic check. Let's see. All right, somebody said two, somebody said one. I think I'm being heard now. I don't. I see that. I see the volume icon moving. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. I sound better now. All right. Peace, say pink. 40. Shout out to all the Aborigines in the chat room. Look, I just put the link in there. Okay. I just want to like as far as this information or just a history perception, their perception of the historical events that took place, prior until you being known or finding out that you are a so-called Aborigines of this land, that you wasn't no slave, you wasn't no person snatched out of one of these random or various so-called West African countries and being transported on a boat over to a land that you've never been, or you have no lineage or no history, the place that you are currently residing in. And just to be to an aspect of, if you like, we didn't kind of I didn't kind of like analyzed it from all these different areas. Okay, so the slaves mixed with the Indians, but still, give me give me an example of what an Indian, brown skin, copper color, brown look. Just wait a minute, hold up, man. So, all right, if the Indians look like, why would I have to even believe that somebody even created a story like that, stating that they done this to, doesn't reflect you? The story reflects European. Like some of these Aborigine men who were swirling with some of these Slavic women and creating. I'm not gonna say just because if you have a child with a Slavic woman, or even any woman outside of your ethnicity, the child will come back dark skinned. It might have different features, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be a so-called Aborigine child, but not in their system. In their system, the condition of the mother is the condition of the child. So whether or not the child look like an Indian, or the child father was an Indian, if that father doesn't manumission that individual, that child is going to be in the same condition as the mother up until the time that he or she is released, if they ever release. Because we done heard these horrific stories. 16, 19, they bring the first so-called 19, 20, or 21, 22, whatever number it is this fucking week, right? Slaves here, right? These people just came here. Oh shit, we got slaves. It's the start of a new fucking tradition, or something that's happening, or something that's in the going, right? So now, one of the slaves that's brought here, he end up he end up saying, you know what? Fuck this. I'm trying to. I'm gonna start doing what the Europeans doing. I'm gonna start selling slaves too. Which his name is Anthony Johnson, which is fucking confusing. This is just fucking confusing. I don't. There's no explanation that's gonna help me what I'm saying. Also, one of the slaves you brought here in 1619 happened to get free. Tell me some more about this story. Let me hear some more about it. So, what kind of system was it then? Unless these were so-called Aborigine people who was in, that was basically doing business with one another, and the business had a commerce, or had the commodity, or have whatever the so-called um the so-called like I said, material aspect. It could be tobacco, cotton, fucking potatoes, corn, tomatoes, lemons, pineapples, okra. It could be numerous different proteins or different animal fleshes, fucking codfishes. What's the shit that they salt the fish up with, the bacala and all that type of shit, and stuff like sofrito, which we had a form of our own sofrito or whatever, stuff like that last. But what I'm saying is, it's just kind of like self-explanatory. What is the story here? Did they bring black Africans from over in these so-called West African countries, like the story being told? Did these so-called black Africans mix with Indians? And if so, what did the Indians look like? By any chance, did the Indians look like some of these Africans? That's what I want to. I don't know if you.
A1, you good? Can you hear me?
That's what I got a delay, man. Hey, when you get a chance, my brother, I don't know. Peace to God. You can unmute your mic though.
Can you hear me? Yo, yo, mic check, mic check,
Yes, sir.
mic check.
Peace to the God.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I
Hey
can.
man,
What's up, my
salute
brother?
to you. I gotta tell you, A1, on some real shit, man. It's an honor and a
I can
pleasure
hear you, my
to
brother.
be up here
Peace.
with you, bro. And I really
Realize
appreciate you
TV.
having me up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, I can. My man,
Yeah,
I don't
man.
know
It's
if you
it.
can hear me. Maybe something.
Yeah, I can hear you. I think it's a delay going on. You want me to go out and come back in?
Indeed, my dude. Indeed. I mean, it's a pleasure having you here, bro. What's up? What on my computer? So I don't know your end. Because if it's on my end, maybe let me see.
Nah, it's definitely on your end, A1. Jump off and
And I
come
just
back
say,
on.
man,
I'll
look,
hold it
man,
down
come
for
up
you,
here and be
big bro.
respectful.
I'll
Cause
hold
I
it
don't
down
like
for
we
you.
don't want no shit, man. Just come up here and be respectful. Whether we agree or we disagree, that's a whole nother story. But at the end of the day, you come up here to the platform, be respectful. You know what I'm saying? None of that arguing and none of that niggerish shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
A1,
saying?
jump off.
And
You
we
got a
we
bad delay, bro. Just jump off and come back
exact
on.
uh, okay.
Hey, Pete, what's good, cuzzo?
Man, what's going on? Realize with the three R's, man.
You know what
I
it is.
realize, and we realize. You already know what's going on, bro.
Hey, hey, man, look, this shit getting real thick, man. Look, motherfuckers better be war ready. I keep saying it. You better be war ready. We've been at war since these motherfuckers got here. You
Yeah,
don't
and I missed the
understand that that
statement.
shit is real. You better be war ready.
Like he telling you, man, like once you start telling the history and you skipping out on various things, like he said, was there any chance that any of these Indians or Aboriginal people would could be considered Negro or African American today? Once they give you the answer, the gig
Absolutely
is
not.
up. The
It's a
gig is
no.
up.
It's an absolute no, man. It's an absolute no. We don't look nothing alike. Period. Point blank. From the darkest to the lightest, from the lightest to the darkest, you can take it and line it the fuck up. We
No,
don't.
no, we don't look alike, but in
It's not
physicality
our
wise,
bloodline.
they'll look at a Negro African and be like, yo, that's a Negro. But do you look at the Indians, the Native American today and say those Negroes? No. So who are these Negro Indians that you're mentioning in historical retrospect? You see what I'm saying? We know ain't nobody get on those boats by the hundreds of thousands traveling over here by the lack of water, taking all these years to come over here to be like, fuck it. Like he said, yeah, I ain't gonna be no slave. I'm gonna get me some slaves and make some money off this shit too. It don't even make sense. It seems like slaves got more after they slaves after they went through slavery. They got an apprenticeship program.
I know how did a group of people come from one continent to another
and build all this shit on this continent, but the people that we left from that have all the history didn't build shit over there. I just that never made sense.
Exactly.
And then just to take it a step farther, they talk about all this great shit that Africa got to offer when America got the same shit and oftentimes did it before the African did it. So how can you say anyone taught us anything or gave us anything when we're the one that innovated it and invented it? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense.
None of this shit makes sense. You know why it don't make sense? Because it's his story. Why is his story, but my story is a mystery? That's bullshit.
Once you understand that it's a mystery, they don't want you to talk about your story. They want your story to be a mystery. They want it to stay spooky. They wanted to claim you pseudo. Yeah, they gonna install in your brain that your grandmama was her whole movement was to deceive and lie to you and insert history that ain't even real. Yeah, your grandmama would do some shit like that to you. That don't even make sense. Why would the woman that loves and nurture you and would have took you in if she had to want to lie to you about your own history? That don't make no sense to me. That's absurd. You know what I mean?
It
Shout out to
don't make
everybody in the
sense. It
chat.
don't make sense because it's something that wouldn't happen, bro. Could you imagine your big mama lying to you about some bullshit? Come on, man. That shit don't make
For
no
nothing.
sense because it ain't
For
real.
nothing. Been telling you the truth and trying to guide you the whole life, but all of a sudden when it comes to your history, she gotta lie. That don't make no sense. Think about that, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. But the same person that's telling you that your grandma ain't right is the same motherfucker that came over and stole your land, said they were just going to do some tax shit and end up raping you and putting you in the situations like sharecropping deals where we get the small end of the stick. You gonna let these people tell you that your history right? Come on,
Man,
man. We
where the
gotta
fuck is the wild Indians at, man? Stand the fuck up. It's time, goddammit.
shout out to the wild Indians. Shout out to the renegade Aborigines. You know what I mean? Shout out to the revolutionary black gangsters out there. Shout out to everybody. Hey, one having a little technical difficulties right now. So y'all just bear on with my brother. He'll be right back in here with that heat. I'm just holding it down for him. I seen he was having a little technical difficulties. Maybe he need to just come on with the phone. I'll hook your Wi-Fi up, nigga. Shout out to my
Yo
brother.
ass always cracking jokes, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Man, look, I want to say this, man, to all the real Amarukans, man, Turtle Islands, you know what I'm saying? Like, our people, bro, it's time for us to stand up, man, and be strong, bro. Like how the fuck we are. Don't just be strong in stature, but be strong in the mind. Be strong and ready. We've been at war forever. When are we gonna get that through our thick ass skulls, man? It's time, bro. It's time, bro.
Yeah, I feel like it's been time. You feel me?
You
To be
goddamn
real,
right.
I feel like it's been time. And that's why we got to do what we got to do, man. Shout out to Real Life. Shout out to y'all. Hey, we got A1 back, man. Let's get a mic check on Big Bro, man. We good? Or you still in a matrix delay system? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he on a delay still. That's crazy.
Oh, you say I'm on a delay?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, you good. No, you good. You back,
If
G.
you can hear us now, no, you good. You mean you
You
good?
back. Turn up.
All right, nah, I just had to shut some of this shit down. Nah, what y'all was talking about though? I was going.
No, I just want we were just holding it
You
down. Can you hear us? Are you good?
yeah. I just want to just be understood what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like from the individuals who understand that they are American Indian, right? From what perception or what understanding do you have of that? Like if you go up
School,
there and you start throwing around
movies.
Albert Perry, but yeah, but not even school or movies. It's some of this shit that they hear on these YouTube and some of these social media platforms, man. It ain't just all of that because some of the people get caught up in whether or how good somebody hair is and say, oh yeah, well, my people had good hair and all that. Listen, your people got good hair, whether it's nappy or was it combed out, was
That's a
it blowed out,
motherfucking
was
fact,
it
A1.
oiled
Cause
out.
look, I got locks and I still got good hair. No bullshit. I got good hair.
Hmm.
And I'm a nigga, but I
So,
got good hair.
but these niggas be like, oh, my people had good hair. Like, so what about the niggas who got bad hair? What about them? So they not Indians? Like, and that's the thing. We come in all different. I ain't gonna say. See, we can't make it ambiguous or vague and shit by saying, "Oh, we come in so many different seeds and all." That's bullshit. Because we know that the majority of what our people look like, we have a certain distinctive look to us, and we know our people no matter where we at, no matter
That our
even
hair says everything about us. Our hair
yes.
says everything about us. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? The way that it curls, the way that it curls, the nine. You know what I'm saying? Like everything about us is special, bro. To our fucking hair follicles. Y'all better understand that.
Peace, family. Right on for letting
But
me.
so what I'm saying is this, my brother. So you all right. So let's just act like we having a basic conversation, right? Right. All right. So do you think it was some type of deception of them telling you that black people came from Africa onto America and these people came here as slaves? Or do you believe that these people was already here in America? Do you believe any slaves came over here? Any black slaves from
Nah, I don't I
Africa
don't I
came
don't
over here?
believe no slave I don't believe slaves came over here from Africa, man, unless they was white. We was already here, bro. And from my little knowledge that I do have, the slaves that came over here from Africa was white, bro.
And then on top of that, see people also they getting it misunderstood, right? They don't know that in the Americas was like the fucking centralization of all this shit. You know, like you got in corporations, you got the centralization um structure that basically distributes to all of the sub or the like this the smaller um how do you say like the smaller facilities, but the centralization is the Americas. Okay, so when we talking about sending stuff over to the Mediterranean or to Al Andalusia, which is Spain, and even in the port of Gaul, all right, and all them other areas, Britain, Germany, all of them people had trade routes or trade lines with us over here. And see, they giving it to you like, all right, well, all right, this is the history of Indians. They was hunter gatherers. They made structures out of trees and bark and wet, like all of this nonsense, man. Which yes, it was some people who may be living like that. They may give you some images of some people living like that in the Pacific, but the gods and the goddesses in the Americas, the majority of us had some type of technology set up. Like we wasn't just like on no peon or no primitive type of living.
Hey,
We had
one,
the
can I
best.
speak to you on some shit real quick, man? Cause I'm learning about the Moors, right? Or the Murs, Murs. I'm learning more about the Murs, right? And w- one thing that I've learned is that um there is no myrrh that's not an Indian, but not all Indians are Murs. But the Murs were the travelers of the sea, the travelers of the waters. They was the boat builders and stuff. Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit? Because I've been kind of dabbling in that a little bit.
That too, see? That like, like I me personally, I keep the term more consistent to um like complexion. Cause ultimately the term more would take you back even to copper color, reddish complexion people, right? Or saying it's a different ritual from all of these other people. Or you got dark Asians and shit, you know what I'm saying, that some people may consider to be Murs or Moors or Mars or Moors. Like it get real kind of like confusing when it's applied as a religious group or religious organization than just putting it like in simple terms that MERS, yeah, MER mean water, obviously, right? And you had some people like even like, you know, I've read a lot of books, right? But that symbol of Mu book by James Churchward, and a lot of people they critiqued that book and they laughed and they clowned on it, and they didn't have no understanding of the other research that was already done on the Americas to connect our civilization to either that being a starting point or that being crucial in everything that was going on here as well. That was probably another trading foundation or whatever the history is with that. You have to kind of look into that being connected to the Americas. Most people, oh, this is some mythological story. Like, and at this point in time, if you in the conscious community or you into like any of this, like even Aboriginal, because most people they came through that Pan African shit. They came through it. Whether they gonna sit here and admit to it or not, they came through it. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, and listen, I'm me myself. I'm guilty of it too. I came through it, and and to kind of like be swept, like what I'm saying, like how you go out in the ocean and the fucking tide, like a big ass wave coming, and the tide bring you back out, and shit, you like, and you can't control yourself, like you out there in the ocean and shit, like you swimming and the tide bring you like, oh shit. And this is how we became confused with a lot of this information dealing with us being here already. The whole thing, the whole thing is a fucking conspiracy theory. A lot of this shit is made up.
Do you think
And
the
a
hijack
lot
of
of
the
it's made up.
language? Do you think the hijack of the language is somewhat to blame?
These people ain't create none of these languages. They ain't create none of these. They ain't create English, Latin.
That's
Listen,
why I
I'm
said the
thinking, I'm
hijack.
looking.
That's why I said the hijack.
They ain't creating none of these languages, man. Even when you look at certain words, right, and then you look at how the word is arranged and how it's organized, and you look at it, you be like, man, this shit it just seems like how do you want to say, like it just don't seem like it's like the word Connecticut, for example, right? You look at the word Connecticut, and just to find out that that word itself is spelled with a Q. And remember, a lot of the languages that was in the Americas are part of, if you want to call it, the Sumerian, because of all of the stuff that the Hebrews claim are actual Sumerian. All of that shit. All of that shit that they create, all that shit that all of that shit is Sumerian. All that shit go back to Sumerian, go back to the Kaaba, go back to the Kabbalah, to the Tree of Life, back to the Sumerians, back to the Anunnaki, back to the Elohims, and back to all of this other stuff. So however you look at it, it's all it. And it's like even with just a brief understanding to what people have. All right, yeah, my grandmother said I was Indian. All right, well, what can I do to help me? Do my other family members agree with this shit? Are they willing to put in the footwork for them to be recognized that they're Indians? So we can have a clan, or we can have a tribe, because we need a certain amount of members to participate to be in the tribe in order to be recognized. Are you trying to be recognized? Are you trying to be recognized by the United Nations? Or are you trying to go in there and give them instructions on what you was doing prior to them creating this fiction, which is the United States, which is the United States? Okay, are you going in there giving them instructions? Or are you going there, how my man said, sub, what the fuck, man? Yo, I'm zooted today. Excuse me, my people. Um, but basically, you under, like, these people are dominating you. And they're dominating you mentally, they dominating you culturally, they dominating you environment, economic, and dealing with resources. They dominating you, and it all goes back to it all goes back to the mental aspect of it. Once they take that, oh shit, oh hold on, wait a minute, oh white people were slaves too, and it's fucked up because it's like, well, what? Why would you lie to us? Why would you tell us that black people were slaves, but then bam, you telling us that the main reason of the Civil War was to free motherfucking white slaves? So hold on. So hold on. So you forgot to tell us that it was white slaves. This is what I'm
The
trying to
math,
get you
the
to.
math ain't mathing. These motherfuckers is on some
No, no,
bullshit.
but look. So if anybody in any history or any conversation or any dialogue have this type of dialogue, how what would your relations be with them going forward?
It wouldn't be
Would
none.
it,
It wouldn't be
exactly.
none.
See, that's what I'm saying. So when I'm saying that, all right, so boom, this is just deal. Let's deal with the shit that I'm seeing. Like, and I'm not even like I'm not no authority. I'm just right now can just be some Aboriginal reality talk or Aboriginal talk or whatever. The shit that I've seen with that Jabari and that young lady that went on the side of the platform, like, see what I'm saying? Like, people go up there and they talk this they aborigine shit, but don't understand it. The key, listen, this is one of the most funniest shit that really be baffles me, right? Okay, this is the funniest shit, and you find some way to give me a proper explanation to make me understand this shit, right? So boom, you got black people, right? Who, prior to you having any conversation with them, they know that they got Indian in them, right? This is off a random conversation, yo. If you ain't got nothing, if you like, as far as this conversation, if you ain't got nothing in agreement with them, if you speak to most black people tell you that they got Indian in their family. Now they subconsciously don't know what tribe it is. Some of them do. Some of them know what tribe it is. Some of them know where the people lived at. Some of them know X, Y, and Z. Some of them don't. Then some of them know half of the story. Okay, some of them know half of it. Some of them know, yeah, we was Indian, yeah, or we mixed with Africans, but Africans still came here, yada 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 yada. But then they never say, well, wait a minute, what did the Indians look like prior to colonization? That's all I would like to know. Like, and okay, so bam,
One of the
so the
motherfuckers that say they got Indian
Indians
in
here
their
that was
family, you
here
know what I
prior.
tell them? You are the Indian in your family. When motherfuckers say, yeah, we got Indian in our family, I tell them flat out, you don't have Indian in your family. You are the Indian in your family.
Are the Indian here exactly? That's a fact. That's a fact. But and just like listen to what they're understanding. It's like, like I tell people, I'm not going to ask you what you know or what you don't know. Everything that the conversation that I have with you, you're going to tell me everything that you don't know. Because I'm going to set it up like that. I'm going to set it up for me to understand, just like we having this conversation about this right here. Now, a couple prior 4 or 5 years ago, bro, people was confused with this shit, man. People was confused. People that had pictures with mongoloids and but yo, it was just it was a mess. People had pictures with mongoloids. Everybody was agreeing with that shit. Everybody. Oh, the mongoloids, all them are our family, this, that, and the third, and these people was there with no, they wasn't. These people wasn't nowhere near us. And if you look around now, you have never seen one of them. You have never seen one of these people. Never, ever, 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 ever. You have never seen. But listen. Besides Hector and Jose and Carlos and Camacho, etc., these individuals who got that same ethnicity of what you believe these mestizos, mongoloids, or these people who are claiming to be Native American today. Yeah, I've never seen them in none of the South Carolina, Massachusetts. The only parts you have seen them are close to where their people migrated, if so, from Siberia, or we can go with the story of the so-called 1300 invasion of the Mongoloids, and then they get captured by the so-called what we call them, the Olmecs, or one of them tribes that was in Central America, where you start seeing them tablets, the Mendoza tablets of them catching these people or whatever. This is real shit.
Can I one thing, big bro?
This is real shit. And these
Can I,
people, even when you come back all the way back up into, we gonna come all the way back up into let me finish this one point right here. You got to go and run it as long as you want, right? Look, even coming back up into the Juneteenth thing, even coming back up into the Juneteenth thing, there's a difference between Indians and Moors and Aborigines as well. And a lot of people don't really want to understand. They don't want to come down and understand that shit neither. There's a difference. Like, I'd rather be called the Aborigine all day than an Indian. Like, I don't like that term, Indian. Me personally, I don't like that term. So it's like, that's just my personal opinion. I don't need a group of people to follow me or to be part of some cult who don't believe that they're Indians. Would I acknowledge that term? Yes, I would not acknowledge that term, but I will also, and from my perspective, correct the term. I correct the term. Laws of attraction. Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, so-called Indian, but would rather be preferred as an American Aborigine or a Tanchan. Thank you very
That's my favorite
much.
word. That's my favorite word is untauntaun.
Notarization.
Untaunchiness. I
Click.
love that word.
Court clerk. Click. I have a legal document that I'm going to send to these people and allow them to understand on exactly where I'm moving for, what I'm moving for. I don't know about the rest of these people or whoever else, but this is how I'm doing mine until I sort the rest of this shit out. My grandmother told me I was an Indian, and then this other person told me I was an Indian, but you classify me as an African American. I need to sort this shit out. So for right now, I'm just gonna say, yeah, you look, listen, my brother, you might get family members, you might find out on your father's side they had some Indian, then on your mother's side, then your mother's side. This like once you start asking the questions, it's infinite possibilities to this shit. So once you start finding out, you be like, all right. So now, like I said, the clue part is for me, get into this shit. Boom. Oh shit. These niggas showing me images of Negroes in America. Why are they telling me that these people was mestizos and mongoloids? These niggas got afros on their head. Wait a minute.
And locks. Don't forget that. They
So
had locks too.
it was black. Hey, could you mute my who that my brother? Hold up. Somebody mic is on. There you go. So you got Indians looking just like Africans on the same landmass in the same area at the same time. And then you find out, wait a minute, all right, hold up. Well, some of these so-called slaves that they saying it was Negroes was really white people. And then when you get even in depth with it, you start finding out that some of these slave catchers were actual Negroes because the whole everything that was going on was ran by Negroes. You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe ain't nobody got no questions or I mean no answers or anything. I just want to hear what some of these people perspective is as far as this. And you got people with the genealogy. I mean, I'm doing it. I'm sorry, my brother. I didn't even hear what you were saying. Would you like to repeat?
Uh, eh, First off, I want to say right on for letting me on your platform, and I want to say, I'm about 20 minutes outside of like Cahokia. I stay in St. Louis,
Yeah, my
and
bad. I don't know what the fuck happened, man. This shit is
can,
acting real weird today.
can you hear me? You can hear me,
Can you
bro?
guys hear me? People in the chat room?
I can hear both of y'all. I can hear both of y'all.
Okay, right on.
Go ahead, bro. I can hear you. And I
Okay,
kind
bet.
of want to hear what you got to say, my G.
Right on, right on. I just went to the Cahokia Mound site for the first time, probably like
Hey, I
was that
don't know
like
if you
last week?
guys trying to talk, but maybe you gotta unmute yourself. I'm trying to unmute you right now. All right, I ain't gonna unmute you. Y'all, if anybody got
This how
something
dangerous
to
we is.
say,
They don't even want us to talk. This how
unmute
dangerous we is. They don't even
Nah,
want us to
yourself
fucking talk.
because there was
I can
some
hear
noise
both
in
of
the
you.
background,
I
and I
think that
just muted
I know you can hear me, bro. We can't hear
everybody. So
A1. We can hear
if
A1, but he can't
anybody
hear us, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
have
That's
anything they
that's the bullshit, bro. They
wanna
don't want us to talk, bro. They do not want us to have this discussion, bro.
I
expound
already know. I already
to this
know.
conversation, Just unmute yourself
Hey
and
y'all tell A1 in the chat, man, to go
we
out
can
and
go
come
from
back
there.
in. Y'all please do that, cause
But as
bro, we
far
can
as
hear
like
him. He just can't hear us.
anybody
Yeah.
want to be in,
Everybody in the chat tell A1 that we can hear him. He just can't hear us. But yeah, I was saying I stay like 20 minutes outside of Cahokia. And me personally, I ain't never seen the image of what they sold us as a Native American or an Indian was, or what they told me that was growing up. I never saw those people. The main people that I see over here in this area or any major inner city area is people that look like all of us, so-called black African Americans. And it's nothing but, so-called like murder happening in those cities. Like, say for instance, one of them is like Louisiana, another one is East St. Louis. It's the ones on the West Coast, and I feel like all of them spots is where the so-called wild Indians reside, and them people look like us. And I had my spiritual awakening around like 2016, like when I was graduating high school, and I done went through all the little phases. I was looking into all the religions, but I like to research truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit addictive, and
Hell yeah, I feel you, bro.
yeah, especially when being fed lies. And like, I done went through the little Egyptian phase and shit, and I'm finna be 25 in like probably like 2 months. Ooh, what is it? Oh, it's July. Man, my bad.
Hey
I'm
man,
close to this
it's
shit for real.
it's it's fun to learn. You know why? Because look, when it comes to people like us, bro, this is just real. We love to learn. Like we feel bored if we're not learning something. If our brain ain't intaking something. If our spirit ain't intaking something that's
Yeah.
valuable to us, we feel bored. Why you think we were so bored in school?
Facts, but look, the crazy thing about that is everybody thrive off learning something new, but everybody spirit they drive is different. That's why we all on this panel on the same frequency. Like, all of our spirit kind of like it thrive off finding out who we are. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nobody in my age group for real tripping off the shit I'm tripping off for. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was born in '97. And people don't really be tripping off the shit that I be on. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know what it is, and like, say for instance, like I said, I've been through the whole little Pan African phase, like A1 said. But one day I just went and asked my great grandma, like, "Are we Indians?" Because I found out that was the first thing that they started calling us, and she told me, yeah, and that shit blew my mind. Then shit, I already knew what it was. It's common sense to me anyway, but I just wanted to go ask her for clarity. And that's exactly what it was. But it's just to me because we the only life basically like, planet. We our genes overpower them. So that's basically telling us that we the only full blooded people on the planet. So like, how can people anywhere who ain't full blooded? It's just like the legend of like Black Panther, right? Basically, me,
How y'all doing?
I look at it as like cats. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, you got your
jaguars
hair
is in
done,
America.
bro?
Like
Looking
jaguars is in
good.
America, and leopards is in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Tigers is in naturally, jaguars is in America, leopards in Africa, tigers is in like China and Asia and shit. And uh
Even the Panthers is here.
yeah, even
The
the
Black Panthers, the Panthers that actually are black, they are
yeah,
from here.
right. But
They're from
look,
here.
this the crazy part though. Like the priests, like in the ancient times, we had like priests and we had like kings and advisors to the kings or whatever you want to call it. The priests in America wore jaguar skins, and warriors wore jaguar skins. The ones in Africa wore leopard skins. The ones in Asia wore tiger skins. When you look at all the ancient little statues and shit, the best, the panther guy, whatever, he got a different representation for every different, bro. So, but the thing is, like, ain't nobody bring a leopard from America and that motherfucker just uh got acclimated to the environment and changed based on the environment. Nah, the jaguar been there. It got the strongest bite out of all the big cats. You feel me? So like that, the people ain't no different because we all was like created by the fabric of the same thing that created everything else in nature. Everybody else ain't the same. So they confuse us about our real history. Like we got to look through nature. To me, we got to look through nature because don't nobody else got another connection with nature and the environment how we do, and that's how they destroy.
Bro.
Nobody gonna destroy it.
You so right, bro. Every time I tell people, I say, look, man, if anybody is closer to nature, tell me, and I'll wait. I promise you, I'll wait. There is no motherfucker standing on this earth that is closer to nature than us. Motherfucker, you literally grow like a tree. The sun makes you grow.
Got
The
the only
sun makes
earth,
your hair grow,
the
just
only
like it
earth.
make the leaves on the tree grow.
We got the only her that ain't dead. Everybody else her is back.
Look. When you cut a tree down, you see them rings, and then you look at your finger. Do that not look like a fingerprint to you?
Exactly. But this another thing though. Like I don't know if the same thing happened to y'all when y'all around babies when they being born, but a majority of our babies born with a head full of hair. Like me, my brother. I know the most of the even some of the girls. Like I don't know about African babies. I ain't never sit in no hospital room and seen an African baby be born. But most of the kids I seen was born with a head full of hair. And African people
Like
traditionally,
a tree.
they right. And African people traditionally they shave their kids' head. They heads be bald, bro. We got different hairstyles that we just genetically do that been innate in us over time. That ain't like cornrows, for instance. Corn is indigenous to America. Ain't nobody else just busting out giving their kids cornrows, bro. You feel me? And then when you look on the back of the Olmec heads, what you see? Cornrows.
Hey, bro, if I can I be heard?
Already.
Peace to the panel. Peace to A1. I take my hat off to you, man. I've been rocking with you for like I want to say 7, 8 years. I don't want to lie, or fabricate anything, but I've been rocking with you for a while, man. Your growth, where you started at, as far as rocking with, Moors and upgrading your game and setting the tone for this whole movement, right? Of people who are doing their genealogy and finding out that they're, we've been here for a while, some longer than others, but for the majority of us, for a while. So it's a couple things, right? First thing is this, right? I think that overall, the majority of us, Reconstruction really fucked us up, right? And when I say Reconstruction, I mean exactly what happened. They reconstructed the history. They added hundreds, if not thousands of years to the timeline. It was a system of memory erasing. I don't know if that's technically a term, but that's what happened. They erased the memory of the peoples, right? And this is why I say this, right? So before colonization, right? Before the French, the Germans, the English, the Spaniards came to North America, all of the so-called Negroes on the planet were divided amongst nations, right? The original French was Negroes. The original Germans was Negroes. The original Russians was Negroes.
The original man is Negro.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So, you know what I mean? My point being is I believe that we've lost that point of view, that point of reference. And this is what I mean. We look at today, we look at the white man, right? You got the Republican Democrats, you got independents, you got democracy, you have You have all these different political subdivisions that these so-called white people are divided upon, right? We all understand that they all are in agreement on one issue, that they don't want us to come back into rulership, right? No matter where they're from, no matter what language they speak, they're all in agreements on one issue, and that's that they're going to stop the rising of the Black Messiah, in the words of J. Edgar Hoover, right, the founder of the FBI. So I believe that, you know, we got brothers saying, "Oh, you are European, you're a colonizer, right?" But when you do the math and you do the science, you know that there's a large percentage of Negroes in America that have English ancestry. There's a large percentage of Negroes in America that have Irish ancestry, right? And this goes for all what they're calling the European nations. This applies to Black folks, right? This is why it kills the whole
Hey,
talk of
Mike, check.
reparations.
Hey, look, listen, Mike. Hey, hey,
My
my
bad,
brother,
my bad. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead, huh?
you're, you're.
Yeah, we can hear you. A1, go ahead.
Oh, all right, no. I just wanted to make sure. No, I wanted to make sure I was back. No, I just went out and came back on in. But if y'all building on something, continue on it. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. I mean, can
Okay.
y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yes,
can
Is
hear
we
you.
yes we
everything
can.
Yeah,
Look,
that's
we
why I
could
flowing?
been
paused.
Is
hear you. You just
everything
couldn't hear us.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's why I paused because I heard you come in.
together or
yeah. We all heard you. You just couldn't
you?
hear us, but we the whole time.
So, and you know, with all due respect to the panel, right? All I'm saying is that we, however it happened, right? We've lost.
Nah, it was
We
going. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know. I gotta.
You got a delay. I think you got a delay.
Oh,
I
he
gotta
definitely got a delay,
get
and that
the internet
motherfucker
moving,
bad.
but
Yeah, it's like 10. It's like 10 seconds. Um, all I'm saying is that there's there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that's happening right now with these crackers happened to us, right? This is why there's no unification. This is why you have so many different theories of understanding and dogmas, right? You got the Moors, you got Islam, you got the Hebrews, you got the Christians, you got
wait,
you got
Hey, bro,
all of
can I
these
say
different.
something, please? Can I
you talking about
please,
me, right?
please, please, can I say something?
Yeah, hold up.
Look, y'all, on some real shit. I don't give a fuck if you are Moor, Mer, if you are Hebrew, if you are Christian. I don't give a damn if you talking to Buddha. I don't care about none of that shit. Guess what, y'all? This is our land. All of this shit from as far as your motherfucking eyes can see. Can we stop playing these motherfucking games and stop fighting each other over dumbass shit that don't matter? Can we
Bro,
all
but
agree that this is our motherfucking land and actually
when
fight for it?
you say our land, brother, who you talking about specifically? Because
I'm talking
all
to you.
Negroes
I'm
ain't
talking to us.
Negroes.
I'm talking to me. I'm talking to us, me too. This is
Okay, I
our
agree with
shit.
you. I agree with you, bro. But I think I'm only touching in on the point of like the title of A1 show, right? Is there's like a there's a disconnect, right? You have all of these competing ideologies amongst one group of people who all believe that they're the same, but they're not. Before the fall of all of you, you were separated. You were different nations. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's the
Like
whole
you,
point I'm trying to make. That's what we need to get away from, man. Fuck all that.
Even,
Listen,
even
look, just for a second, y'all. Just please hear me, y'all.
yeah.
Because I put my motherfucking whole heart in this shit when I do it. I'm telling y'all right now, fuck all of them goddamn names, all them titles. Fuck all that shit. None of that whole ass shit matter.
Wait, what the brother's saying? It basically saying that even before all of the labels and shit, we still had differences amongst our own people. But
right?
wait. But even though we had differences amongst our own people, we still knew who we were, though. We had power in that. We had differences amongst our people. We wasn't
That's
fighting.
what I'm saying, bro. Like we always
We
gonna
weren't
have problems
fighting.
amongst each other.
Right,
We niggas, man.
right. But at a certain point in time, obviously our people had got it together, all on one accord, because these motherfuckers had lied to us for a reason. You feel me? All of us got physical freedom for a reason. You feel me? And I know slavery ain't happened exactly the way it happened, the way they told us, but before the industrialization era and shit like that. But nah, you right. It's always gonna be differences, because to me it's all about genetics, bro. It's about genetics and what you exposed to in your environment. If you ain't built like that, then you just not built like that. You can't toss a nigga in the
You got
fire.
a point.
And, and,
I respect all respect to you,
You
bro.
talking about genetic memory.
You
yeah,
got a point. You
genetics,
got a point
Because
with
exactly.
we're
that.
remembering ourselves, right?
That's real shit. That's real
Everybody,
shit.
We're piecing ourselves together. So you
yeah,
got some brothers who are coming back in and they're saying, well, I'm rocking with Islam. You got some brothers that are saying, I'm a Christian. You got some brothers that are saying, I'm a Buddhist, right?
and
And
look,
when we do the knowledge on all of these different ideologies, all these different doctrines, yeah,
And what
we're the
if we
creators
hold
of
on?
all
Wait a
of
minute. What if we brung all that shit together? What if we brung all that shit
nah. Look,
together?
you
Maybe
ain't
we can
gotta
get the
bring it
truth.
together. Nah, don't fuck. You gotta step back and ask yourself, where did all of this shit come from in the first fucking place? Why
Us.
everybody else? Why is everybody else? Look, when you go to another country, bro, you see one religion mainly across that whole motherfucking country. You
That's
gotta
right.
ask yourself, why when you come to America, it's all this motherfucking confusion amongst one people specifically, and that's our people. Everybody else looking at us basically from a bird's eye view, like, what's up with them? And most of them, and not, I ain't gonna say most of them, a good percentage of them know why, but they not finna tell you, because once they tell you, you gonna figure it the fuck out. But it just take a month. You gotta ask questions. Like, before you grasp on anything, you gotta ask every question and think for yourself, and then like search for validation within yourself. Don't search it for like within nobody else. Like I said, I look for truth. I don't look for a person to be right. I don't look for me to be right. I don't look for shit egotistical. I like truth, because I found out how powerful that shit is. When you got truth, a motherfucker can't like say for instance, when a motherfucker working for the CIA or the FBI and they tell the truth, they get killed. A nigga in the streets, he a snitch, but he told the truth and got killed. You feel me? That shit powerful. So when a motherfucker actually like it, you got really ask yourself what's up with all of these religions, and why I'm in a room with 10 so-called African American or black people, and all of these motherfuckers economically damn near in the same pool, and if they not, they don't even got the same knowledge. Like it's and motherfuckers like not sharing it and shit. And like I said, bro, I stay in St. Louis. It's a whole lot of Arabs and Iranians and people. They come set up businesses right in our motherfucking neighborhood, and they call for their family as soon as they get enough money. And you want to know why they able to do that? Because we don't even know who the fuck we are on the basic level. Because we dealing with a whole bunch of other bullshit. People,
But let me
like,
can I ask you a question, brother?
what's up with it?
Just a quick question, just off of
Yeah,
what we're vibing at, right? So
yeah,
let's say hypothetically, let's say that your genealogy goes back to the czars of Russia, right? You Negro royalty from Russia, right?
yeah,
My family line goes back to English, right? I'm
right,
England, right?
right.
However it happened, we're all in North America right now.
Right.
Does that not mean that at some point in our past histories that the English didn't bang out with the Russians?
Yeah, I mean, like like you said, when you do certain family histories, because I know certain family histories, it's black German families that came here. It's black French people that came here, black Spaniards, bro. Like when I did
Black
my
English,
white
black
people, like
Irish.
pale faced people didn't get into power and weren't able to do shit until like the 1800s. So
The end of the 18th century. I agree
that happened,
100%. So
anything that
no, this is my question to you though, brother. My question is to you: Do those same hangups not even? even though we're not aware of it, we're not cognizant, right? Most of us don't. Most of us haven't done our genealogy, right? We got a group of brothers and sisters that are saying, you know what, we're Aboriginal. Aboriginal just means you're the first inhabitants of the land. There's Aboriginals of all the lands, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So my question is do are you guys seeing that genetic memory that we're not focusing on, right? It's playing a huge factor, right, in this new wave of consciousness where people are coming into the understanding of who they are.
That's a fact.
So and I'm humbly saying this, right? That's why when I came in, I took my hat off to A1 because I've seen his transformation, and I know he's backed out the game for years. Like for 2 years, he ain't been doing shit, right? He ain't been out here trying to go back and forth with brothers. But I've seen the transformation, and I'm saying that I don't think that brothers are fully aware that we ruled the planet. So the Germans, the Russians, the Ukrainians, they were all Negroes. The royal families of all these different nations were Negroes. So if you were subdued, you were conquered, and they threw you into servitude, whether you fled voluntarily, right? Whether you did it voluntarily, you came to the Americas as indentured servants, or you came under involuntary terms. Well, however it worked out, we're still here. But that doesn't mean that we're not who we are. That doesn't mean that we're not going to identify with certain doctrines that even we don't know why we identify with. I didn't know why I identified with the Hebrew doctrine, right? Until I did my genealogy, and it brought me back to England, right?
Wait. When you talking about genealogy, you talking about blood test?
I'm talking about bloodline. I'm talking about it took me back to England.
Did you do your shit by paper or by blood?
A little bit of both. I started off with blood. But
look,
blood can only get you so far, right? You have to go to the paper.
Right. I'm gonna tell you why you can't do this shit by blood for real. Cause did they dig up dead people, or did they compare your shit to living people that's out there today?
Well, no, you talking about DNA. I'm not dealing with DNA. I'm talking about genealogy. I'm talking about birth records and death records.
Right. I'm saying so you did
reviewing the records.
Right. I'm saying your blood test. Who did they compare your blood test to out there in England for you to know that you got English ancestry?
Well, I trace my family, my father's bloodline and my mother's bloodline, right? And my father's bloodline goes back to Wales, and my mother's bloodline goes back to Ireland. But that does not mean that during the process we did not commingle with so-called Aboriginals of this land. Right?
I ain't saying that, but I'm saying as far as like what I know about blood test, DNA test, the furthest that they can research as far as your blood, living people is your oldest living grandparent. Other than that, they can't go past that. Not
Once again, that's why I said I don't deal with DNA. I'm just dealing with genealogy.
Right. You said blood. When you said blood, I was trying to see like
I said blood can only take you so far. You have to go to the paperwork. You have to do the actual records, the research.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying, bro, I'm not trying to, cause dissent on the channel. All I'm saying is I think that a lot of the confusion is that we've kind of isolated ourselves and said, and it has a lot to do with the story that they told us that we accepted, right? The whole out of slavery, the enslaved, that whole the slave trade, all of that fuckery that makes no sense when you actually do the math on it. None of it makes any sense, right? What does make sense is that Negroes was everywhere on the planet ruling, and there was something happened, and Negroes from all over the planet fled to the Americas. Does that mean that there was not Negroes in America? No, I would never say that. America is a Negro continent, right? The Americas are
Yeah,
Negro continents,
yeah.
right?
Honestly, I feel like most of that stuff that they told us is a lie. I feel like they told us a lot of people that came from other continents. Uh, I mean, I know it were melanated people that came from other continents, but I know that they sent a lot of our people to other countries as well. And you know, if they sent our people to, they sent a lot of our people to the UK. They sent a lot of our people to West Africa, to to a lot of places, the Caribbean, and a lot of places. And if your blood trade, I mean, not your blood, but if you got people out there, then you know they can just get thrown into the mix with that. You know what I'm saying? Because they did that for over 100. They did that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, Liberia was created or founded by uh, so-called African Americans. You know what I'm saying? The first capital of Liberia was Monrovia, and it was named after James Monroe, the president that's over here. So, you know, they sent a lot of our people everywhere. So that's a lot of confusion. But the main thing that makes sense to me is that we were told a lot of stuff in reverse, just like people were brought over here on slave ships. So I know a majority of our people were over here on this island anyway. And uh, if you look at the amount of foreigners over here, you can just kind of have yourself have an idea of how they tried to make room for all of these foreigners over here, and how a lot of people that look like me and you got around the world in the first place.
I wouldn't disagree with you on anything that you said, brother. My whole point of even tapping in is that I just want our people to have a more a global understanding of what actually took place.
For
Like,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like,
Black on black
there's a,
crime.
there's a reason. There's a reason why when you read books by J. Rogers that like uh no color what is it Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers, right? And he goes into the actual the coat of arms of the royals of England, Ireland, Scotland, Germany, Russia, right? And they're all Negroes, right? But
Yeah.
they've all put us under the cloak of African American. That's denationalizing you, right? This is why there's no such thing as reparations for Negroes, because all of you niggas come from a different nation.
Right.
All
But
of
see,
y'all was
I
ruling in a different, you know what I mean? All of
yeah,
y'all was ruling in a different nation. Y'all are the descendants of the rulers of all these other nations that were conquered. The First World War was not written about. It's only talked about in the halls of masonry.
right.
There was really only one war. That was when the Negro family fell nationwide. Worldwide. You know what I'm saying? And which led to the subjugation and the usurpation of your names. They took your names. They took your histories and they said it's their own. This is why it's so hard for us to place ourselves in this history. This is why you got all of these different gurus and of history coming out giving us all this different rhetoric, is because we were conquered worldwide. We were conquered, and that's really all I want to kind of. And I don't know what A1's position on is what I just said. I know I followed the brother, and I know that the Spaniards were Negroes, right? The English, they were Negroes, right? The goddamn the French
Right,
were
right. But you
Negroes.
gotta but you gotta look at one thing too. The cultures were different though. So like when you come to the Americas and you go to certain other parts in other parts of the world, people wasn't building mounds or pyramids and doing certain things in their culture that other people were doing. And when you look at that culture today, that culture is dead. Nobody is following behind that culture doing what their ancestors was doing. And if you look at us, our spiritual system was killed. And that's exactly what happened. The Germans, the French, the black, like the indigenous people there, they wasn't building certain structures. I mean, they were building magnificent structures. It's a lot of stuff that was built, but it wasn't, the culture wasn't the same. The clothing and stuff wasn't the same. Wasn't none of that stuff the same. And I can't say that we were fully conquered. Our people wasn't ever fully conquered. That's why they still trying to put this mental and psychological game on us right now. I don't know if your camera froze. What's up? Well, shit, A1 ain't even on here. Ha! That's hilarious, man.
All right, peace, 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 peace. I think I'm back. I don't see none of the individuals that was up here previously until I just actually had to click off and come back in. I don't see nobody that was on the panel that was previously on the panel. Okay, I'm clear. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what was going on prior to me getting kicked out because I don't normally, like, if I get kicked out, I don't normally come back in. I just shut the whole shit down, but I don't know what was going on the whole time. I was trying to figure out, like, as far as on my end, why I wasn't being heard and what was the problems with my internet. But however it go, you already know, show must go on no matter what. We done been through this before. But let me see something. Somebody said drop the link. Let me see if you guys can come back in. Give me 1 second. Shout out to all the Aborigines, North and South, Central, adjoining islands. Shout out to all all indigenous, Aboriginals, Native Americans, Black Indians, Indians, Mongoloids, mestizos, whatever. Because at this point in time, in this so-called community, you have a lot of people who don't understand exactly what is what. Yeah, a lot of people who think that, oh, the slave, like, it's either or. It's either was already black people here in Americas, and you brought black people here, and they mixed with this mysterious race of people who you call Indians, right? And now they're claiming to be descendants of them, or they was the original people, or the original people of all these places that these people inhabited, or these people came to. It was melanated people here, and along with that, then came the influx of white slaves, etc. Right? So, like, me personally, I don't believe it was no African slaves here. I don't believe it was no Africans that came here until the 1940s. The people who they tell us Africans are really so-called melanated Europeans who at one point in time was an ally to whatever the name of this civilization, or this say this world power, because America was a world power. So whatever connections they had to this world power, we don't have the we don't have the exact understanding or the exact knowledge to even what this world power was established and what was the aspirations of, like, as far as the trade routes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, was they trading? What did America had trade routes that went to Morocco? And most people don't even want to understand that, but they'd be so quick to say, "Oh, it was black Europeans came here," but they don't even want to understand that. And then when they presented with the fact that America had trade routes, right, outside of the land or the continent of the Americas into other places, people don't want to understand that. Oh man, nah, let's not. That's pseudo. Oh no, that's pseudo. Let's talk about these black Europeans that came from here and they mixed in, and now that's the reason why his name is um Evans and Jackson and Jefferson, etc. You understand what I'm saying? Was there black people here already? Did they have a civilization? How can we come to the understanding of white people being slaves here? Black people don't even want to. They don't even want to understand that. They like, oh man, nah, I can't even think of a white person being a slave. So fuck it, we might as well be the only slaves. Once I seen that it was white slaves in America, and once somebody went that far and to put into fine print a bold statement, right? We had the brother Tayshaun in. A bold statement, right? A bold statement saying the reason of the Civil War was to free white slaves. Now, up until this point, like I said, I was under the impression that there was only black slaves that was brought from Africa. So now, how do we rationalize this right here? You understand what I'm saying? Now to find out that, oh shit, black people at the times that they were supposed to be slaves, they had whole towns. Oh shit, they had whole towns as far as from Maine all the way through Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, and then even in South Carolina, you had some blacks who owned slaves. But then they got an agent that step up. But they wasn't white slaves though. See, they once they figure out that, oh, it was black people that owned slaves. Now they gotta come in and give you the idea what ethnicity slave it was. So they program you. Oh shit, no, it had to be a black person. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, can y'all hear me? I don't know.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good.
You understand what I'm saying? But this is what they do. My brother Tayshawn, this is what they do, right? They come in, they tell you, okay, all right. And then even I was wrong. Because I used to do bills on, oh, Indians were slaves, and you know what? It's like kind of like 50-50 as far as that. Because, like I said, the main thing of the confusion of how so-called melanated people was put into what we call slavery or bondage. Let's say bondage. Let's not even say slavery, because Slav is an ethnicity. So there has to be a synonym that's it has to be a synonym that's consistent with the term of being in bondage or being somebody or you dominating someone, or you understand what I'm saying? Something to that effect or whatever, right? You just can't say that slavery, even though slavery done with the Slavics is in that effect of them being dominated by the many people who conquered the Slavic people. Now here it is. Oh shit, you got Slavic people in the mainland of America. Because you know what? Like a lot of these niggas, they never done the research on what exactly, where did the Slavic people come from? Or what land did they cover over there on that so-called land what we call Europe, right? What land did they cover, right? They say that the Swiss and people from Switzerland, Scandinavian, um, oh man, it's a bunch of them, man. Slavic, Transylvania. It's a bunch of different so-called European lands over there. And when you look up the term Slavic, right? But what it won't say is this, right? It won't say that the Slavics was Germans. It won't say that they was from Britain. It won't say that they was from Portugal. It won't say that they was from Morocco. You know why? Because they know at that point in time it was black people already inhabiting it. And then it gets even weirder when we try to figure out what is the origin of these people who at this point in time are conquering everything. What is the origin of them? Where did they come from? What land did they inhabit? What so-called dynasties or so-called world powers prior to the 1900s was they part and parcel of? And like I said, even over here in the Americas, was your people hunter gatherers, or was your people responsible for uh um let's say a new wave of technology? Did the first technology come in when the first when the Aborigine was out there mowing his lawn, and he realized, man, you know what, man, fuck this, man. I gotta create a device, man, that's gonna make me more efficient. I ain't trying to be out here all day cutting this lawn, man. I want to be over there drinking some iced tea and chilling. You know what I'm saying? So he created something that made his life more efficient, in which he was able to cut cut the grass 10 times more efficient than using a weed whacker or whatever method that they had prior to the invention of the so-called lawnmower. You understand what I'm saying? Which a nigga created. You understand? So, and I'm quite sure if we asked that same nigga who they said created this lawnmower, you pulled him aside like, yo, you ever heard you had Indian in your family? He'll be like, yeah, my grandmother, he gonna have the same fucking story that we got today. But see, the thing of it is that once whatever fuckery took place here, it's like they, for a brief time, didn't care. They never thought about what would be the implications of black people realizing that they was here, because they already knew that they was here when all of this shit happened. They already knew that they was already from here. So in the meantime, when they start changing the ethnicity and start changing the terms and the titles of your people and what they're being addressed as and what their origins and what their national and some people like to use the term national. I'm using it for the sake of that nationality or nation or um how do you say, like, just natural aspects of where your people's from. Like your people naturally from Georgia, and then you had someone that prior, your family might have been traveling from Virginia. And somebody might have made it with somebody from Virginia, and now they live in Georgia. Now they relocated to Georgia, and now that land, that family is located in Georgia, and both the mother's surname or her maiden name or or her surname, as well as the so-called father surname or patriotic name, because that's what they like to call it, matriotic and patriotic surnames. You know what I'm saying? But however it go, that name would be dominant at that point in time. So it's the same thing here. Like when people have these conversations, they asking them, okay, so, Africans came here, and then what? They mixed with some other people who look just like Africans. So now, nowhere in your psyche you saying, all right, well, you didn't tell me it was no Indians that looked like Africans here. You didn't tell me that. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It was Indians that looked like Africans here already. Okay. All right. So now let me go dig deeper into this story. So the Indians in the South looked like Africans, right? But wait a minute. The Indians was farmers. Oh shit. Okay, so the Indians was farmers too. Okay. Got you. So the Indians knew how to create um irrigation systems. Okay, yeah, they know how to create irrigation systems too. So the Indians knew how to. They had a form of masonry. They knew how to build. They knew how to make bricks. They knew how to create structures. Okay, yeah, the Indians know how to do that too, right? Okay. And then with the exception, oh shit, but wait a minute. The same white people that you said was dominating you were at that point in time fucking slaves. So the story that they're telling you of all of these slave stories, all of them, just pick one. Just pick a slave story at this point in time. All the slave stories that you can remember, okay? 90% of these people that's in these movies that's running around here on that side of being a slave was Europeans at that point in time. So if they lied to you about Europeans being slaves, right? And then they lied to you about bringing you over here slave. At this point in time, what part of this story is real? What part of the story is real?
Well, let's. You can hear me, bro?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Well, let's lean into the whole. Let's talk about the Indian slavery, right? And you when you was breaking down videos on that, you was the first person I saw talk about it. So when you got to talking about how I think it was from 1650 to 1730, I think, or 1670 1730, how it says where majority of the slaves majority of the activity that was happening in Charleston, South Carolina. Right? I'm from South Carolina. This what caught my attention when I first heard this shit. That there was more slaves, Indian slaves, being shipped out of South Carolina than there were African slaves coming into South Carolina. So when I first heard that shit, I'm like, wait, hold on, wait. If it was that much Indian slavery activity, and I'm from South Carolina, where they teach us that 40% of the African slaves came through Charleston, South Carolina. First thing that popped in my head was, okay, they got to be lying about this African shit, because that shit should be taught about the Indians being enslaved too. They never taught us about that in South Carolina. So, like I tell people, like, hey, at the end of the day, you could do as much research as you want to. You got to use your fucking brain at the end of the day. So once I started digging into that shit and realizing that in these same places, these same wars, like the Civil War and all these wars, Indians are fighting in these wars according to their records, and then they also got Africans fighting in these wars as well. So me, I'm at the point now. I'm like, bro, there was no African slaves that came here at all. I think that whole African slave story is to cover up the so-called Indian slave story, which was actually POWs that they were shipping out, sending them to Europe, Africa, down to the islands, Asia, and all those other places. That's my take on it. So
And look, that's a great take, right? And just look. Let's just kind of like fantasize over this, right? Over the fact that, okay, white people was not in charge of nothing until like around, matter of fact, they weren't in charge of nothing. The mulattoes tried to come up, and like, remember, the mulattoes got fathers that's Aborigines, that's Indians, so they got some power. They still got some power, and that's these motherfuckers like Albert Pike, and that's all of these motherfuckers, fucking Jesse James, Frank James, all of them Europeans that you see that was part of the Knights of the Golden Circle. A lot of them motherfuckers became, they ancestors told them how the system ran here, right? And then what they did was they took control of how the trading systems went. So a lot of people don't understand all of this shit. Like they said, trade wars. All of this shit is about trading, because that's what create corporations. You need inventions for you to have control, or corporations, or you have more, you have more economical advantages than some other countries. Some other countries only got steel, they only got minor resources. You understand? Or minor industries, right? Over here you got multiple industries. And the main industry is food. Them other countries that got all of them old fucking chopping down trees and lumber and all that type of shit, they may not have the industry that we have here. Tomatoes, etc. All these different nutrients and herbs and plants and fruits and everything that the Americas has, honey and everything, everything, and plus the gods and the people who skillful with the technology of how, and they got the DNA in them. They have the technology passed down to them through their DNA, okay, of what took place here in this land. That's why, like, even in the 1900s, or you go down south, right? Your grandfather, or I don't know what people conditions was, but like, I'm just giving you like a stereotypical like trip down south for most people who was up north. They go down there, their family, got a house, and it ain't like they got a big ass house or some big ass compound and shit or whatever. They got a house, boom. Most people when they went down south, that I've heard, that, you know what I'm saying, because when I went down south, it was kind of the same experience. But the other people who had the similar experience went, oh man, we was working in the farm. Oh man, my grandmother had me doing this, and and like most of the manly things that men lack today, right? Or that hard work, or that introduction of fucking of work. You know what I'm saying? Like some people got an introduction of work at 5 years old. Other people got an introduction at work at 20 years old. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, even understanding that, like, you know what I'm saying, you have to put it, to build the house is hard work. I'm watching these Mexicans, they bought this land. They built a house on the land, my dude. Not no flimsy, shack looking shit, nigga. The house that they built is going to be at least $750,000. Just in a random location, and this shit started off as just a frame, or not a frame but a foundation. They had a foundation and they built the shit. They got women out there working, nigga. They got women out there working, nigga. Women, they ain't out there talking about, oh man, I'm breaking my nails, or oh fuck this, my weave sweating and all this other shit. They out there working. The women out there working, nigga. What holla at me, the link is in the chat. The women out there working. They ain't talking, oh shit, oh, I just broke my goddamn nail, or oh shit, my weave is sweating, or none of that shit. Or my mascara, or my makeup, or my comp, or my whatever, yada 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 yada. Mexican women was out there working with them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up there watching, like, yo, do you see this shit? I ain't had no, when I left from there, I said I ain't gonna say nothing bad about no Mexican from this point on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say nothing. I don't. Okay, even if I get down to a point where I hate you, my hembrero, or my, you know what I'm saying, my hermano, I, you know what I'm saying, me hate me hermano, like fuck off. Even if it get down to a situation, I'm gonna be like, nah, I respect them motherfuckers, cause everything, even when I walk out of here, right, this somebody across the street over here, they must got some type of construction company or something, but all of these motherfuckers, I don't know if they just Mexicans, they could be El Salvadorians, they can be whatever. I don't know what their ethnicity is. I just know that they're like south of here, wherever I'm at. You know what I'm saying? They're like south of me. That way. You know what I'm saying? However it go, it be fucking women out there, men out there at 5 o'clock in the morning, ready to go do some construction or some painting and all this, that, and the third. You understand what I'm saying? But the house shit is just extraordinary itself. Cause this shit is these niggas come here and buy this shit and get some of these old properties. And these niggas build compounds, man. These niggas be having gates. These niggas be having like 5 or 6 vans in there. I'm talking about the vans with all the ladders and all the extensions for the ladders and all that shit, right? They got compounds, nigga. Like 5 or 6
Hey,
vans up
A1,
in. Yes,
what's
sir.
good? What's up? Hey, well, peace to the God. Shout out to the platform, man, the panel. Hey, I used to work construction, and you ain't telling no lie, gang. Like the whole family be on the site, goddamn, and if they'll allow it, if they got the plug in, everybody, you know, pitching in to goddamn get the jobs accomplished. Matter of fact, when I was working there, I was seeing a whole like paint crews of like Hispanic women, whole little trim crews, like you know what I'm saying, all through the sites, man. Like you can't knock that. Like you know what I'm saying, you can't knock that unity and that camaraderie that they have within their communities as a culture. Like you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to affirm that.
Nah, peace to the God. Look, hey, Ab, look, but I'm just saying, like, look, this, like, you can learn something from some of these immigrants, bro. Look, I moved a car like one day, boom, and this just like, you know, the L's is on my side, right? Um, I was at a location where I was picking up a car, and they canceled on me and said that the car wasn't going to be available till the next day, and I was already there, and it's like already like 50-mile drive. So when I got there, it was a white dude just ran out like, yo, you help me take my car to such and such, and his car didn't run or whatever, but they loaded right, and he knew how to put the car in neutral, like under the hood. He knew how to change the gear under the hood of the car. And this nigga was a Ukrainian, right? And I'm sitting up there watching. I'm sitting up there just looking at him, like, he came out with his tools, and this is it was a Buick. I think it was a Buick lacrosse wagon, like a 2019, some new shit. Like, the shit is nice. I ain't gonna front it. There ain't no Benz, ain't no Beamer, but the lacrosse, the Buick lacrosse wagon, that shit is nice as hell, yo. He bought that shit from the auction, and however it go, he was gonna fix it, like whatever was wrong with it. It wasn't nothing real crazy. Just needed a couple sensors and everything, but he bought the shit. And I'm just noticing, like, yo, this motherfucker came out, put the shit in gear. Now I probably could have looked on YouTube and did it myself and figured it out, but I wasn't going. He gonna have to pay me more money if I was gonna put all that work into it. But nonetheless, he knew how to do
Right.
it already. He knew how to do it already. Came out with his ratchet, you know what I'm saying, socket wrenches, all boom, 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 boom. Came out, compact driver, you know what I'm saying, driver, came out with some tools. Most niggas don't even own no tools. You know what I'm saying? Most niggas don't own a hammer. Like, nigga got a knife, a pocket knife, yeah. Nigga don't own a hammer. Nigga be like, yo, I need to use a hammer. Like, yo, I ain't got one. Let me get a screwdriver. Let me get a flat, a Phillips. Give me a Phillips screw. I ain't got one. Like, goddamn. You got a lighter? What I'm saying is, you can learn something from them, regardless of who we are. Because, like I was telling somebody the other day, from the 1900s until now, shit just got worse for us. Like, even though you got some niggas who was able to dodge the shit, and they was able to remain sanity, you know what I'm saying, and maintain doing what they was doing to do what they was doing for their family and everything. You know what I'm saying? And you got some niggas who sold out, right? You got some niggas who sold out, and then you got some niggas who got swept under the whole impoverished community, and that's women as well as men. Because some of the men went to the army, got caught up on drugs. Some of the women, because they didn't have a man and they had to rely upon a system. It's a lot of different variations that went into that. You know what I'm saying? With prostitution, all of that shit. People getting caught up on drugs, everything. From that point in time, things just got worse for us. Even now, to the point where they utilize the rappers and had the rappers talking about the drugs, making you think the drug. Look, I tell you like this, right? That predictive programming, or not even predictive programming, just saying that, oh man, man, music don't change nobody, man. Get the fuck. You gotta be a weak individual. Listen, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Like, as far as drugs, like, you know what I'm saying, drugs. One advertisement, man. Advertisement of somebody who's popular, and this individual who's popular, who people who idolizes him, who wants to be like him. So, oh shit, nigga, you take roofies, or you take Percocets? Really? Oh, if I take a Percocet, I can be cool like you. I can be like Future. All right, bet. I'm gonna take 5 of these motherfuckers right now. You know what I'm saying? And you think it's not people out there who insecure of who they are, who don't rely on some of these people. And it's a lot of women. It's a lot of niggas. It's a lot of niggas, and I don't know who they are, obviously, but we could just sit there and just agree. That's a lot of people who rely on a lot of these. actors and people who's entertainers and etc. to create these different styles and these different personas and like a lot of these different false cultures that people use today. But somebody say, all right, well, boom, niggas use drugs. So from the 1900s until now, and then see what's happening now and is right in the 2000s, they started opening up on them, a lot of them funds for people to go to school. Like a lot of them is grants. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of grants so people can go to school or people can get access to some of these grants. Because when I was coming up, like college, like niggas was like, they may pick, like motherfuckers was going through a lottery or some type of shit. Like, and they announced one person and shit. Look, and the winner for who's going to college for free, who's a Negro, is such and such. All people wasn't getting accepted into it. But like in the early like 2000s, they started to give a lot of people grants and a lot of people access to a lot of education or even trade material of things that wasn't accessible to them prior to them making it accessible to them. Because you want to know something funny? A lot of this shit was in the high schools, right? A lot of this shit was in the high schools. A lot of the brick mason, even like culinary, fucking home ec and shit. Niggas in there baking pies and shit. Like,
Facts.
you know what I'm
Facts.
saying? The fuck? Nigga, we had motherfucking brick masons. We doing brick masons, nigga, metal shop, nigga,
Wood, wood
carpentry,
shop.
Yeah,
wood,
Yeah.
woodwork. Yep.
there you go. What teaching you how to be a man, not oh shit, oh he walking. Here, give him this tablet. Like nah, nigga, like you know what I'm saying, like fam, like listen, like I'm sitting up there looking at it, looking at shit like, boom. My father had me out there changing a tire. You know what I'm saying? Look, I don't know too much about a car. I know how to put the key in the ignition, put gas that motherfucker, put it in gear. I know how to do it manual, standard. I know how to reverse it, lock it up. I know how to do all that shit. Put gas, antifreeze, or whatever. And I still don't know how to do everything with a car. But just basic needs that like a lot of these kids don't have today. Some of them have it, don't get it wrong, and some of them don't. Like it takes a lot, like even into making sure a man's a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like boom, you know, the son most of the time used to be the father apprentice. You know what I'm saying? For every motherfucking thing. It wasn't
Goddamn
just
right. Hey, Junior, hand me that shit over there. God damn it. Let me show you something. Like, yeah, that's right.
it wasn't just one thing, right? It wasn't just it wasn't just one trade and shit. It was carpentry, plumbing, um, mechanic, auto mechanic, roofing, everything. Because it wasn't no
Pretty much
calling.
everything you need to be self-sustainable.
Exactly, exactly. Nigga hands, nigga know how to everything, man. And it's like now you don't see that. But just getting back into the conversation at hand, I noticed on TV that you did a bill on that Jabari interview with that young lady, right?
Yes, sir.
And like, listen, I'm not saying like on a surface level, the young lady was sharp, right? To just on a surface level, if you want to deal with if you want to be politically correct, she said all the political correct shit, but
Right.
she should have never dabbled into the Albert Perry paradigm, or she should have never dabbled into that because that's murky waters right there.
Right. And like especially if you don't have a background that you can kind of like, you know what I'm saying, paint the parallels and kind of, you got to walk them through shit anyway. So like bringing up Albert Perry and then you don't really have the background to kind of explain it in layman's terms, then
everybody just gonna be grabbing the next source, right? Which neither one can quantify or verify because they don't have the background. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, oh well, this is what the source says. This is what this says, and they're like, you ain't really standing on much. You know what I mean? Just regurgitating the article. So, but she did okay. I felt like she did all right for for her first time and shit like that. I felt like she did all right.
Ab TV. Why are we using Albert Perry? What is the whole premise? I'm putting you on the spot right here too. Look, what is the whole purpose of us even bringing up Albert Perry? Why are we even bringing that up?
Well, because the prevalent thing about Albert Perry is because prior to discovering his Y DNA chromosome that was older than all the others that they had in the database, prior to that, they figured that the DNA basically followed the evolutionary theory that they already had postulated. Um, and so DNA basically just kept confirming what modern science already knew, right? But then with the resurgence of Albert Perry's DNA and it made them have to push back the time period and also re-examine the evidence as far as the theory of human evolution and how people and the peopling of the Americas came to be, just based off the finding of his Y-DNA. Now the issue is that most of the Africans, they'll totally like skip that part and be like, but yeah, but they found his DNA in other places and da 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 da, right? But at the time when they did the research, right, and at the time that they found it, they had never seen this shit before. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made it prevalent because they found a ancient Y chromosome that had ties to the Americas, and it basically just tore apart already human evolution, which they were confirmed with DNA prior to that. So, um, order, right? To Atlanteans or something like that, and yada yada. But at the time when we were talking about the information, when we were releasing it and explaining its prevalences, it was very valid. Now, right, you don't see any actual accredited scholarship about the subject, right? Ain't nobody talking about Albert Perry, not in the science world, not in like anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see people just continue to kind of regurgitate it and talk about it in kind of sparingly until you, I guess, get another peer-reviewed article. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but that's why it was prevalent for those who didn't know. Like, right, it was the oldest Y chromosome that they've ever found, and it had ties to the America.
And people, when they heard that was just more information that just added to information that already didn't make no sense, right? When it comes down to it, because some people, like I said, they stopped at it as, okay, my grandmother told me she was Indian, she was of a lighter hue, this shit is ambiguous. I'm just Indian mixed with African. That's it. Okay, I got accepted into this nation over here, which some of these people, I don't know what ethnicity they are, and I know. Listen, all. Why they? Well, how my shorty said, all shade, no shade, no shade, all shade. How the fuck she said that type of shit? Oh, I got accepted into the tribe where there ain't no niggas that look like me, or they made. There's one nigga who has a picture of somebody in his family who look like me. But for the most part, I'm happy. I'm with my tribe. I tribed up. I got myself in the tribe. And you niggas ain't Indians. This is the type of shit that motherfuckers is saying to us. Instead of saying, well, okay, we're all black people who have so-called or who are claimed to be African Americans. Could it be a chance that they're always Indians? Could it be a chance that they lied Of course, they already lied about history at this point in time. We didn't court them so much. Just the fact that white people slaves and the word Slav, it makes you just this like, God damn, you know how a motherfucker got over on you, and you just be shaking your head like, yo, I can't believe this nigga got over on me. Hey, yeah, TV, you still on?
Yeah, I'm right here, gang.
Hey,
Yeah,
look,
I know exactly. Like you saw it coming, and you still couldn't miss the oopty wally. Like it still hit you. Like
bro,
that's a fact.
you find out, look, and then you find out books where these books is not being generous. Like, oh yeah, well these was indentured servants. They be like, well, poor Jeremy, he had to work on the field for 14 hours. And look,
Right.
look, they was white and they were slaves, black masters, white slaves. Oh my God. And when you read the content of what was going on, you like, wait a minute. This sound like the shit y'all say y'all was doing. And then look, you still associate yourself with it as you reading it, and you seen it being done to white people. You still like, yo, yeah, my people, they was cutting babies out of the stomach on our women. They was beating us with whips. And then you start reading it, like, oh, wait a minute, white people. And you start saying, well, wait a minute, let me just do myself this much justice. Let me look the word slave up. Let me just look the word slave up. Let me look the word slave up. Let me go from there. Let me see exactly what this term means.
Facts.
Because in all of these other places, I'm the one, as soon as the word slave come out, they don't look at none of these other, it could be Mexicans in there, Chinese people in there. It could even be Jamaicans and other Caribbean people in there. When they mention that word slave, everybody turn around and be like, yo, that nigga last name Thompson. They look at you and shit like, you know what I'm saying?
That was your
Malik Thompson.
granddaddy.
Malik Thompson and shit. Everybody look at him. And he like, yo, like word up. When it comes to when it comes to every other ethnicity, what they specializes in, nigga jerk chicken, nigga looking at the brother over there, or whatever. Whatever it is that they specialize in, they know what ethnicity it is. But when they come to motherfucking slaves, they looking for a nigga. They ain't looking for no other black man. They ain't looking for no African. They ain't looking for no Caribbean. They only looking for a North American Negro.
And I mean, I think that's the point, right? Because if slavery is associated with the ethnicity, we gotta, and that ethnicity don't want people to know that, you know what I'm saying? Then we gotta associate it with something totally opposite than what it really means. It's like creating cognitive dissonance, right? Like black mean white and white mean black. And like, you know what I'm saying? Just basically perverting everything that was reality at that point and then just flipping it on its head.
That's how they like even with that's why like, people just say, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna start studying etymology. I'm gonna start studying prefix and suffix and the 8 parts of speech. Because I don't believe none of this shit. You niggas is just changing shit up. One minute this word means this. Next minute you got another word for it. You just changed it up. Like, oh, so you changing that word like that? Yeah, we changing it like that. So now you gotta kind of like separate your mind. But just know this though. The term slave and Slav is consistent with exactly what it is. And can't nobody tell you no different if you done it. If you just did the due diligence just to look the term up just to see what it is.
Right. Slav is like the equivalent of Negro.
But look, Ab TV. It gets a little bit more serious than that, right? All so-called people that we equate with being Europeans, was it a blonde hair and blue eyes? Was it a blue eyes and dark hair? Was it a fucking etc.? You get it. You
Right.
get it. You get it. They were all called the Slavs, my dude.
All of them was sloughs. But that
All
makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. And then they start to break up in little bands, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. And that's where you start getting these new, you know, little sects of them. But yeah, that makes sense. It's like the
well,
Aryan nation, right? Which is really just the Slavic nation.
yeah, exactly. Like, so now look, take that into account, right? So let's go back a little bit, right? So now, okay. So white people was the shit. Let me ask you a question, TV. You with me?
Yeah, I'm right here.
White people was the shit in 1492, right?
Mm-mm.
No, 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 no. I'm talking about according to their history.
Right. They were well, yeah, they were being enslaved.
No, according not
Oh, you
not
talking about
not
you
not
talking
not no no
about
no
the actual term white people?
no no. All right, okay. Look, in 1492, according to the history that we told, white people was running around conquering people, enslaving people, having a good old time, pirates and
Facts.
all of this other shit, right? But when you really look into the history, you have to beg a differ because this is all fallacy and fairy tale. I mean, fairy tale land type shit. This is not even real. They was the ones being trafficked across the world. Now, even when you get into the Moors, right? When you get into the Moors, right? You get into the Moors around that same time, 1400s. They got harems with so-called European women in them.
Right.
At the same time, now white people the shit and black people is the scum of the fucking earth. How is this going on?
Because it's not true.
Well,
It's
no,
not possible.
the harems is true, but
But
the
the
part
white people being colonizers and the dominant people colonizing any lands, that ain't true. Like
exactly,
the history don't support their argument. You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Throughout the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century, you got examples of them being enslaved
bro,
throughout each century.
yeah, bro.
You can't
Chief
get around that.
Holiday, look, Chief Holiday was just playing some shit yesterday, right? And Southwind was reading some shit where she was saying that Columbus ain't become popular until 1792. Now I had to sit there. Now I already heard somewhere from somewhere else that they were saying that 1792 is when they saying that the real stories. Because in 1492, these people wasn't coming here doing what they was doing to us. It's no way they
No,
were
if
not.
anything, they was coming as serfs and servants of the Moors or some shit like that, or being traded or some shit like that
Not
at
even
that
that
time.
though. Not even that because look, none of these people had no power. The empire that was still, we still controlled the empire in America. But once they start like doing like like with the the same spy shit, what they call that, um, damn, I can't even think of the name, that they relate with the term when they doing with spy shit. You got people here that's being told that they're gonna be put in certain positions if they help bring down the
The,
system that's in play right now,
Like a coup,
the
like a coup,
espionage.
espionage,
espionage, right?
exactly, espionage. Hmm.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, A1. So we saying, boom, slavery is happening in different parts of the world, what we know as the Barbary slave trade or the white slave trade, right? That's happening
It's not even.
circa.
It's not even happening. It's not. It's not even. It's not even what we think it is, bro.
Okay, talk to me. What
Everything
is
that
it?
they telling you that first of all, it wasn't even looked at as no slavery. Listen, think of it like this, right? Are you gonna bring people in your house and they can't? They ain't not gonna serve a purpose?
You got them right.
Hmm?
Right, of course.
And look, anybody in the chat room, anybody who hear this shit at any further time, just think of this right like this, right? Are you going to bring anybody in your household that's going to be 100%. Matter of fact, in some cases, 100% meaning they ain't gonna give you nothing. So let's double that, and then matter of fact, let's triple, quadruple that, and let's 5 times that. 500%, motherfucker, not 100%, but 500%, nigga. Like, look, a 500% possibility that this motherfucker gonna sit in there and eat up all your food and drink up all of your whatever drinks you drink these days. If it's water, whatever, I don't know. Eat up all your food, and when you come home, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna bring somebody in your house that's gonna do that? And that's the same thing with Europeans. And if to live with somebody, the minimum have always been, nigga, look, well,
Earn
if you
your
want
keep.
exact, that's the minimum.
But see,
That's
that's
the
what make it make so much sense for me, right? Like, okay, so if these people, my fault, y'all, they, it's 4th of July. These people are being in servitude by certain people, right? Now, when they are over here, right, they're having to work to earn their keep, right? Some people may call that slavery, right? But like you were saying earlier, right? The Moorish people at that time, which I'm not sure, like I'm not saying they from there, I'm not saying from there. I'm just saying whatever the history is saying, right? They're saying, like you said, they got harems of these European women, right? We seeing other examples of these European people being enslaved all over the world, right? Then at a certain point in time, right, these same people, right, who are under the same kind of like that Moorish regime or empire, right? Now they come over here and, like you were saying, they begin to commence espionage, right? They begin to watch, figure out shit. You know what I'm saying? See how the system is ran, um, and then motherfucking at a certain point in time, we can actually see the change of the guard or the change of power, right? Because like we said, we got examples going up through all the centuries where it's black people or melanated people or niggas that's in power and in control, right? Then at a certain point, that changes, and that's right around like the early 20th century, at least from my research. You know what I'm saying? After they had went through Ellis Island and all these other different examples to where a lot of them came over here. Then after the Civil War, we started to see like a change of power where you start to see more of them more prevalent in power into what we got today. But that's just kind of like a synopsis of what I saw since I've researched. What's your take based on what I said so far? Or correct me in some of the things that you might have.
Hey, can I say something real,
yeah,
real
real
quick?
long. Hey, look, now go ahead, brother, go ahead. Then I'm gonna respond to what TV was saying.
No, I just want to say
Go
because he mentioned the Civil War. I don't know if y'all ever looked at. I know we all seen pictures of Abraham Lincoln, right? What they tell us is Abraham Lincoln. But have y'all ever really examined that picture of him? If you look at Abraham Lincoln, what they say he is, you look at his face, he looks like a slave that was getting his ass beat. Like he looks hungry, starving, and tired. If you really look at his face sunken in. So the whole Civil War thing by him freeing the slaves, I think that has something to do with freeing them.
Yeah,
He
he a
freed
scallywag.
white slaves. Look, he freed white slaves. That's the
Right.
whole the whole thing is to take yourself out of that position. Take yourself out. Do you know the stress that it'll relieve off of you once you realize that your people was never fucking slaves. They could never be slaves. And so now look, you got like you in the how they like a lineup and shit. Like you in the like you about to be charged of a crime. You in a lineup, right? So, but it's 8, 9 niggas there, right? They all slaves, and they be like, well, somebody just announced, like, well, look, man, I don't think all black people were slaves, man. There was some black people here who owned slaves, and for a time, your mind, you gonna sit there and think, like, wait a minute, man, what is the possibility that my family might have owned slaves, man? I'm not one of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the
Hey, A1,
possibility? Or
doesn't
what's
that
the
support the
yes, sir.
theory of a global white slave trade and that's them being the commodities though? Like, don't that support that?
Dude, listen. when I seen, listen, remember the story that they telling you, bro. They're telling you in 1492, after the wars was, after the Moors was expelled from Spain and Portugal, right? Right?
Right.
They came to the America. They sent Christopher Columbus to the America, right? They sent him to America, right? Then you find out, oh well, King Ferdinand was a Negro, right? What? He was a Negro. I thought all white people was running. So, and Queen Isabella was one of the whores that was in the harem that this nigga just he lusted after and just and manumissioned her and shit or whatever and made her into a queen, right? So then you learn, okay, Carlos Quinto, right? Carlos Quinto, or what's his Inca name? Um, Charles the Fifth, or Carlos Quinto is the Inca name, I believe. But his other name is Charles the Fifth, right? You look at this nigga. This nigga got a full beard, like niggas went today, right? Look in the 1400s. Yeah, a full Sony beard like niggas wearing today. Nigga, you go outside or go any store, you see a nigga with the same beard. This nigga running shit in the 1500s in the Roman Empire. Like, come on, man. Like, yo, it's like, and at this point in time, when you show people this shit, people is just still stupid. Oh, well, you black people was running Rome in the 1400s. I got other pictures up here showing you that the king of Port of Gaul, which was all connected to the Andalusian Empire, which all was part of the Montezuma trade port that went all the way from fucking Canada all the way through Florida, from Florida all the way through Central or the Iberian Peninsula, all the way into South America, through certain parts of Peru, to that part over there on the Pacific side, to certain parts of Brazil, to this part over here on the Atlantic side, and all the way back up to certain parts of, I want to say maybe certain parts of Africa. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm still doing the research on that. Don't quote me on that. If you find some research on it and it turns out to be true, okay, I can rock with you on that. But I know we had a trade port all throughout this motherfucker, yo, and the trade port was ridiculously. It was like the same way how import export is with fucking trucks. Like how you see trucks, shipping trucks that take shit to the port, drop the load, go pick up another shipping container, drop another shipping container, boom. This is how we was moving shit through the seas. And it's like, oh man, my grandmother ain't tell me nothing about that. Oh, we was hunter gatherers. We wasn't trading no shit. We wasn't molding no metal. We wasn't building no structures, nigga. We lived in a wampum. We lived in a teepee, nigga. Ten people lived in one teepee, nigga. AAITV. 10 niggas live in one teepee. Oh, that's Hawk School. Hawk
Yo,
School.
peace.
Peace to the God, bro. Look,
Shit crazy.
niggas can't even live in that close proximity now. So 10 niggas living in a
Fact.
teepee, nigga. Nigga like, nah, we gotta do. Nigga walking back and forth like, nah, we gotta do something about this, nigga. We gotta create rooms, or we gotta create sections to where I gotta get away from this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a
And
fact.
so, like, if you don't think that, and see, the more insidious thing about it is that everything that these people function off of today. I'm talking about today. Today, besides fast cars and besides, what did they change? Because the structures of the buildings ain't the same like they was in the 1900s.
They changed the ownership. They changed the deeds. That's all they changed.
Yes.
I bet
But
I've been
as
telling
far
niggas that.
as
Yo, that ain't changed shit, bro. They ain't changed
Hey,
nothing,
you
bro.
know what's crazy? Hey, one when you look up, because you was talking about the etymology, and it was making me think about a couple things that nigga kind of old man, and I just thought to look up the etymology of powwow, and that's how I discovered, that all that shit really don't have nothing to do with the Aboriginals, man. That's some shit that was brought over here by the Germans and shit. But long story short,
Well, say
renovate,
say that again.
yeah, powwow.
Well,
If you do the etymology.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Yeah, powwow. When you do the etymology on powwow, it's actually some shit that has to do with ritual magic and shit that was brought over here by the Germans when they was fucking with the Indians and shit. They blended the cultures and shit. If you could look up like and talking about the Slavs, you could look up in Czechoslovakia, motherfuckers got feathers on, jumping around with the drum, doing the whole powwow shit, because that's they shit they brought over here. It'll fuck
Check
your head up.
this out, Hawk School. This how you do the process of elimination, right? Check this
Hmm.
out, and I want everybody in the chat room to listen to this shit, right? Everything you see the Mongoloids do that you never seen nobody in your family do, you know you wasn't part of that shit. And just
Facts.
Hell
because you
no,
ain't
nigga.
part of that shit, don't think that you less. Don't
Facts.
think that you less than the Aborigine than they are. The the real culture that is the Aboriginal culture is being utilized somewhere in, let's say, in Alaska, right? A motherfucker who's sitting in he's sitting in the office on the iceberg in Alaska. Guess what he got in that office, yo? Guess what he got in that office?
A picture
He
of you.
probably, I don't know what. He said, picture of me. Yo, you trolling my
No, 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 no.
yo,
I ain't.
you for
No,
real.
I'm being dead ass. I'm dead ass though. They got a picture
Oh,
of us.
I'm about to okay, all right. Nah, that's a
No,
good one though. But
I ain't
check
on
this
that.
out.
I
They
ain't
got a
on that.
fucking light bulb, right? Now you good back into the spectrum of everything. They got a light bulb, right? They got a
Facts.
light bulb, right?
Yeah, that's
So
us.
prior to light bulb being created, there was no light bulbs nowhere else on the planet, right? Until this one nigga made it, and they like, oh shit, we got a light bulb. Let's put this in mass production. So when I tell you the powwow, like you can say the powwow of how, you know what I'm saying, like that ain't even look, I kind of figured that shit wasn't because our people don't even give it up like that, man.
Come
Everything you
on,
see your
man.
people doing subconsciously, the shit that you be like, yo, I can't believe that nigga. You see your uncle at the cookout do a fucking backflip.
Come on.
Do a
Come
semi
on.
semi. Nigga do a semi one hand backflip.
It's a nigga on the
Nigga drunk some
molly.
corn liquor. You like
It's a nigga.
look, nigga drunk some corn liquor. Look, nigga just did a backflip. The whole like 100-foot flip and shit. You like, oh shit. And nigga just like, go. This nigga couldn't walk 2 minutes ago.
Right.
He
Your
did a
grandma and them
100-foot
goddamn
backflip.
jumping around in a circle around them. Boy, ain't nobody doing that shit, boy.
Yeah. That's what I'm
They
saying. And
they
it's like,
conjuring. That's a conjuring. That's part of their little conjuring, they magic shit. They they little pagan rituals and shit they brought with them. They Norse mythology and all this old goofy Blavatsky shit that these fake woke niggas be trying to put niggas on.
a
And
lot
that's
of
why
shit we
go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I
I'll
was just
just
gonna say this, right?
yeah, I'm listening.
I think we got a delay. A lot of shit we do, we don't really create a name for, right? And then somebody else will come right behind you and create a name for. So the whole time we looking at powwows and we like, oh shit, look, this is what the real Indians is here, nigga. You ain't no real Indian if you ain't at a powwow, nigga. So you see motherfuckers with their folding chairs sitting in there taking little props and like, nah. We the real Indians. Look, we had a powwow with the Mongol.
Hey, boy, you see
Hey,
them
look,
niggas
in
in their
old school,
lawn chairs. Nigga ain't in the circle, he in his
hey,
lawn
look.
chair. Official.
Check this shit out. Check this shit out, Hawk School. So you see them. So now, boom, they pull nah. We had a real powwow. Look at the Mongoloids. Look at look at
Real
this weird
Indian.
shit that they doing over
Hey
here. And
man.
you like,
Hey,
yo, and that
they got a whole warm up video, man. I found a powwow
oh,
warm up video.
a what?
Powwow warm up video,
Yo,
nigga.
them,
It's on my channel.
bro,
The shit
bro.
fake.
Like them. Oh my god! And you see how listen, and then when you see the real Aborigines and the Tonchons there, right? Who thinking like, yeah, I'm only in their mind, right?
That's
While the
right.
powwow going on, the so-called Negro who think he's a descendant of a slave who mixed with one of them, in his mind, he like, yeah, I wouldn't be an Indian if it wasn't for him. And he don't even know he was already here, shit, right? He don't even know
Already.
he was already here. This
Well,
nigga
see,
over
you
there
know what?
shaking, having his
You know what, A1? I'm looking at all these pictures, you know what I'm saying, mid 1800s, and I'm seeing all my Indian niggas, and niggas is dipped. Niggas got on suits and shit. It's 1904. You see niggas in full length fur coats and shit with whips and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself as I'm looking at these pictures, you know what I'm saying, knowing these niggas ain't slaves. You know what I'm saying? I know a nigga when he balling, and I'm thinking to myself, when I see these pictures and I see us dressed like this because of that powwow shit, I'm looking at these niggas and I'm thinking like, damn, these niggas ain't dressing like Indians, because the motherfucker done told me these niggas trying to be European. But then I had to look inside of my own DNA and say, when are niggas as a whole trying to be European, bro? That ain't never been a thing for us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
never,
niggas ain't trying to be European,
never.
bro. That's not what niggas do. So this is us
And
already. We
even when
living in
they do
houses.
try to be, listen,
It
yes,
don't work.
yes. And see,
Right.
look, and listen, that's the look. But see, listen, see, a lot of these people, like, and I'm referring to that shit I seen, like, with the young lady or whatever. And later on, after doing the knowledge to everything, you see that it's some other fuckery type shit going on with that. Like, with
Yeah,
the
you know what
whole
it is.
center over there, do the. I'm like, yo, really? Like, this is what people doing, or this is what we doing. But however it go,
That's
I
what
would rather
agents
if
is doing.
somebody come with it, challenge the whole slave. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? They're not gonna have nobody around. Look, most people gonna think you crazy if you challenge the fact that Africans wasn't born here, bro. Most people gonna think you crazy. They gonna be like, they gonna stop. They gonna stop in mid. They gonna be walking and shit, chilling with his lady. They gonna be like, what? You don't believe it was Africans, boy? Look, you be on the street talking about this
That's a
shit to
fact.
one person, and one person here, they be like, what? You, you don't believe it was Africans born here? Well, what you mean you don't believe it? And then like I said, it's a whole PowerPoint that gotta be done. That you gotta really convince a person, because most people will admit, okay, it was black people born here or black people already here, but they don't know the quantity, they don't know the quality, they don't know how many people was already here, where they was at, and then when they was here, these people was hunter gatherers. These niggas was savages. These people was living like, it's just a whole nother story to go along with it. So it's never
Yeah,
like nobody had no civilization. Nobody had no type of, at least mental bookkeeping where a person knew how to keep everything in order, or how to, you know what I'm saying, how to bookkeep and know, okay, well, this is, people mentally do that. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, man, I see individual, and I put the link out there. We got another. Oh, we got Jonesy up here. I put the link out there. I just want to know, what do people believe? Do you believe it was Africans already here, or do you believe that the people who they classify? Because understand this, everybody who's in this so-called, I don't want, if it's a community, it's a community. If it's a paradigm, if it's a culture, if it's a cultural, or representing your ethnicity or representing your ancestors or whatever you want to put it in, right? Do you believe it was Negroes or African slaves brought here once they tell you that white people were slaves in this country? Do you believe that? Do you believe once they tell you that, oh, it was black bounty hunters that was catching white people? Do you still believe that it was black slaves here? When you hear, oh shit, William Ellison owned more slaves, William Ellison, and they try to catch you with the dumb shit. And if you're not smart enough to reverse it on them before they run it on you, William Ellison was a slave. Nah, I don't believe that shit. The fuck out. He wasn't no slave. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. He was a free black. He probably owned slaves. Get the fuck out. You dismiss that shit from the gate. Yeah, William Ellison was a slave who was free. And nah, get the fuck out. Anthony Johnson. Oh, he was a slave. Nah. You gotta reject that shit from the beginning and challenge that shit from the start. Because your identity of slavery is to bring somebody here, have them work half to death, or for the majority of their life, have them in bondage and working in the heat and all it. And you find out, oh shit, for us to have sit down here, my ancestors was doing that anyway. My ancestors in the field, they was in the field voluntarily. Ain't no white motherfucker had you. Why the fuck you think they had straw hats on and shit like that? Ain't no white man had them in the field like this. They was already doing this. Matter of fact, we love the motherfucking sun. Soon as it got 90 degrees out, you ain't see niggas all year long. But soon as it start getting hot, where you see niggas at? At all of the meeting points, or all of the points where you see where niggas normally, you ain't seen a nigga sitting on that stoop right there all year long, right? Or since the winter time. But soon as it got hot now, one nigga came out, three niggas came out, four niggas came out, and it's the same shit. And it's even with us. Cookouts, all of that shit. So I don't know if y'all can still hear me, because I think everybody else is in.
Yeah, you
But
good.
if anybody else would like to expound before I get up out of here,
I was just gonna pose a question. Like people gonna look
let
up,
somebody
bro,
else.
and the time is gonna miss them because they're already trying to change the little reference of slavery from slavery to involuntary you know what I'm saying, relocation. That's what they're trying to pass down in Texas to be teaching. You know what I'm saying? Because once the truth comes out that they were who they were, they're going to change the whole narrative and not even call it slavery anymore and call it this involuntary relocation bullshit. So I don't know if nobody heard that or just you know what I'm saying caught that over the airways, but that's all I was just going to jump out. So it's going along with their narrative. So they're trying to change it. Why would they take it out if it happened or want to try to make it prettier if it was you know what I'm saying in regards to us at the same time? They wouldn't. So it got to be a different
And
narrative
that,
or it got to be
and you know
something.
what? And see, even now you right, you right, my dude. Even with that, right? But it still has to come down, right? If there's enough people that's within this so-called community or among the people who who want a thriving Aboriginal, was you want to say cultural awareness or cultural awakening, or just for people to recognize that they were here and their ancestors are the original Americans, and they would like to be addressed, and they would like to be noticed as that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Other than that, I don't really see like people putting their best foot effort with this information, because it's like it's all over the place. It's like, once they already tricked you, or once they already done said something that's not accurate to what the historical, you can't keep going back. And we know that history is never, it can never be, it's going to change. It's going to change as the time goes along, because more people going to find out, or they're going to do more research, or like, things of that nature, to where they're gonna have different perspectives on that different topic. But as far as where we at right now, where we came from 1619 to 1865, and then into like, we get into the 1900s, where they still showing you that they doing the same thing, or they're showing you something that they wasn't doing prior to the 1900s in the Americas, like with all, like how they was lynching blacks and all that. And see, we're confused by it. We're confused by it because what they're doing is showing you Europeans who just got free, right? Who just got free from 1865, who part of these Knights of Golden Circle. That's why they running around here wearing the motherfucking hoods on, because half of them white motherfuckers that was running with the hoods on were some of y'all employees. So imagine the motherfucker, the KKK, who was an employee of the black person who he's burning the cross on his land. Imagine that. Imagine the motherfuckers who was in the KKK was employees of the people who he was chasing off the land, yo. Imagine that. Can anybody imagine that? Mike say,
Yeah, man. That's how you know it ain't nothing but hate. You know what I'm saying? Just how a motherfucker moving, because it's like I was researching the Great Fires, my nigga, and I had to really think to myself and go back to what you saying about the etymology, man, and how the shit be right in our face. What make a fire great unless you burning down the motherfucker shit you hate, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? Would you call your house fire? Man, it was a great fire at my house. It was a great fire when I burnt that bitch house down. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hate, bro.
no,
And they came through burning our shit up. You know what I'm saying? Digging up our motherfucking graves and stealing the motherfucking paperwork because our people buried they shit. Niggas still talk about burying money to this day. So if they wonder where they got it from, and that's why these motherfuckers out here digging up every motherfucking thing, stealing our motherfucking deeds and titles and all this shit. I was just on the bill, telling them, man, these niggas goddamn can't even keep up with their motherfucking electric bill. You know what I'm talking about? Like this shit just crazy, bro. Like my nigga A1 and dropped off, man. Peace of the tribes, man. Hit the motherfucking like. Goddamn, if you ain't subscribed, subscribe to A1. Immortal. You know what I'm talking about? Real Aboriginal motherfucking education over here. Share the stream. Hit the like. Goddamn, put some fire emojis in this bitch, some bows and arrows. A1 coming right back, man. Dropping these jewels on y'all. Y'all know what I do. I'm just glad to be here. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. All this shit fake, man. These fake ass tribes. You ain't got to be part of these fake ass tribes, y'all. These are improved order of the red man ass tribes. First goddamn degree of their secret society is to adopt a pale face into the motherfucking tribe. This shit been going on since the 1700s. So now you trying to be a part of some shit that ain't even really got nothing to do with you. Wondering why you ain't no real Indian. Nigga, you was a real Indian when you popped out this motherfucker just like day one, nigga. Told you, nigga, we popped out this bitch like popcorn. We been here. What you think autochthonous mean? We sprung forth from the soil, my nigga. Bro over there getting goddamn tipsy over there with that cup. I don't think he even know his camera on. He lit. Oh man, we got something coming up real soon, Celtic Indian. I'm about to drop some shit, man. I might drop some tonight. I got a few live little builds lined up, man. You know how we do, man. Just trying to stay studied up. What's up, Ock? We can't hear you. We see you. He over there tipsy to the motherfucker lit. That boy living a good life. Peace to the tribes, man. Make sure y'all share this shit. Hey, one sound like he was in traffic. His phone probably died. He'll be tapping right back in. We just keeping it lit, you know what I'm talking about? Yo, man, hit that link, man. The link in the chat, man. Peace to all the tribes, man. Just take this moment, man, and go ahead and goddamn share the stream. What's up, bro? Pass that shit, man. Let a nigga get a sip out that cup, man. What you sipping on? Hey, nigga. Hey, man. Take a moment to share the stream, man. It's goddamn 4th of July weekend. You know what I'm talking about? We celebrating the war. Cause this ain't our Independence Day talking about. You know what I'm talking about? So we goddamn celebrating the gunshots, nigga. If you think I'm bullshitting, wait till 12 o'clock, midnight. See how it's going down in the woods. Tribe. I mean, where you at, A1? Well, we got to keep it lit, man. We can't have no airtime on this motherfucker, you know? That's what fuck up the whole goddamn. You can't have motherfuckers falling off the track, goddamn Hawk School. My nigga, we the only ones in this motherfucker. I can't even see our name. We just gonna call him sipping and smoking. Goddamn. From the sipping and smoking tribe. Isabella was a harlot. Hey man, look, 1700s, man. Nigga, we had houses, buildings. Nigga, it's documented the Uchis talking about their houses. 1800s. You got the goddamn the Cherokees all building motherfucking two-story goddamn brick houses. You know what I'm saying? So where the fuck did all this teepee shit come from? Like my nigga say, bro, we can't goddamn stand to live up on each other, goddamn in the same house. You talking about this 10 motherfuckers in the teepee? That motherfucker finna be getting knocked down every goddamn night. We can't even goddamn have no good Indian love in no motherfucking teepee. There you go. Tribe. And now back to our regular scheduled program. We're now live, autonomous one, and unconquered tribes. We hear you, Ock. Mic check.
Yeah, this shit got a delay in it, man. This shit been letting me down all the whole build. I've been in and out.
We held it down for you, Ock. You know
Peace,
how we
peace, peace,
rocking.
peace, peace. Can y'all hear me? Mic check.
Tribe,
You,
you loud and clear.
you,
Tribe.
you heard? You can hear me now, Hawk School.
Yeah, you loud and clear, Chief.
Mic check.
Put some bows and arrows in the chat, man. Let everyone know you hear him loud and clear.
Oh, all right,
Tribe,
okay,
share the
yeah.
stream.
I'm about to end this one though, man. Yo, I appreciate you holding me down. I don't know what kind of sabotage and shit they had going on today though, but it is what it is. But shout out to all the Aborigines, North, South, Central, and Conjoining Islands. Hey, for the and back to like as far as like what Yo, I'm about to just end this stream because I keep getting kicked up out of here, man. Peace to everybody, man. We'll try to do this again maybe later on, sometime this week. But peace to all the guys, peace to all the goddesses, peace to all the Aborigines, North, South, Central, as well as the conjoined islands, man. Peace, man.
They've known you for damn near 4 years and they've never called you a stepmom. Pause. I never tried to be a stepmom. I never tried to be a stepmom to your children.
So I'm gonna be 100 with you. That shit, that's some European invention shit. Like that shit is not. That's not what it is.
I fuck with your kids tough. I take your kids out when I go get my kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't leave them out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to be their mama. Yeah, but you see how I deal with my kids. So the fuck? I'm not trying to be nobody's motherfucking mom. Call me Shalom. But I wish one of them kids would call me. What the fuck did you just say?
On the real. Check that shit at the door. Like, I ain't not. But see, that's what motherfuckers go wrong. It's kind of like that transgender shit, right? But motherfuckers want you to believe what they believe. Like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, so you think because you fucking my father now, that you're my mother? Get the fuck out of here. Get your weak ass out of here, man. Ain't none of that shit, man. That's right.